Internet, hello. Welcome to Popcorn Chicken, episode 9,521.
That's it?
Yeah,
That's it?
I know. We've been at it for a while, and we're almost at 10,000 or 20. I don't know. Anyway, numbers are hard. Hi, we're going to talk about a bunch of stuff, and also Chris is here, and so is Elvin.
We're not at 10,000 episodes.
Prove me wrong.
It feels
Please
like
do not
it.
listen to him, internet. There is no anniversary
This is only our
episode
second.
coming.
This is our second episode.
Yeah, second episode ever.
We just started this thing.
Exactly.
What up, Cowbunga dude? I just dropped my lid. Hi, Evan. How are you?
Good. Due to circumstances, I can't be there in person, but
Because you were chickening out getting us pie. That's why.
Yeah. I actually did line up a place that makes it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I was gonna get it, but I couldn't come in today. So.
Well, Loki's over, so we have to we have
throw
to
that
move on
pie out the window.
We have to see what they eat in the new Monsters, on the new Monarch show on Apple.
Probably people, I'm assuming, but we're not gonna do that.
Yeah, well,
we're gonna
eat people.
Animal is illegal here.
Yeah, it'll be delicious.
But if they're having sushi, we'll have some.
That's true.
That's true.
Kiwi has a joke for you.
Already.
Yes. Yeah. Care to read it?
Well, look what the cat dragged in. Absolutely nothing. He was not let outside. Man.
Elvin, you're ruining the younger generation.
Have I been replaced?
Yeah.
You're a bad influence, Elvin.
I don't know who your parents are, Kiwi, but
we're not mad. We're just disappointed.
They should do the Omer. Why, you little?
Yeah. No, you can't do that anymore.
Oh yeah.
No.
Joking.
He came out and said we're bringing it back.
Really?
Well, that seems like a ridiculous statement. Like, don't worry, guys, we're bringing choking children back.
Well, actually, sorry. Let me explain this again. He said we never said that. It was a rumor that went viral. We never said that, and we are always going to do that as part of a gag.
So. Again, why is that something you have to say publicly?
Because
we never
it's so
said
important.
We're gonna
It's so important.
Child abuse. We're always
you say child abuse,
guns.
I say disciplining, but we'll meet in the middle. Abuse.
It's just a marketing ploy.
Oh,
we're gonna do it. We didn't do it.
Yep.
That's very clever.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be talking about the season finale of Loki.
Yes.
And Invincible season 2, episode 2.
Yes.
And
Rick and Morty,
and then
which is season 7, episode 5.
Sure,
we got to write this stuff
Those
down,
are
man.
Numbers.
Those are numbers.
And numbers help.
Newest episode. That's the one.
Actually, one of my sons loves there's a Simpsons joke where Marge says to Grandpa, and Grandpa goes, "I believe 1,000 is a number."
Yeah, just like as many episodes as we've done of this show.
Exactly.
No, it's a number.
So why don't we start with the great 80s movie? Every week we talk about an 80s movie. Someone from the group gets to choose one. This was my choice. This is a classic. I used to watch this movie as a kid. I don't know if it still holds up, and I can't believe I watched it as a kid and laughed.
1984, right?
1984, yes.
I was 4 years old.
Okay.
I don't think I was watching that movie when it came out.
I was 12. Anyways.
You were 12?
Maybe.
I didn't.
Oh, 13. Yet. I was 13.
You were 13?
Yeah. 84.
He was 1,000.
Yeah. I was born in 71. More numbers.
Yep.
You do the math.
Shut up.
So the movie we're going to talk about, the 80s movie we're going to talk about, 1984, Top Secret. This is Val Kilmer's first film.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
His first movie ever.
He was on stage before that.
He started
with yes. Movie. Yes. He had done a lot of stage
stuff. His big break in Hollywood.
Oh my God.
You know what? He's actually great in this.
Oh yeah.
Like he sings all his own songs.
Wait, actually?
Yeah, that's him singing. That's him singing.
I mean,
he's got Broadway background, right?
Wow.
What's that, Elvin?
He has Broadway background, so
yeah. Like most actors, they've all come up,
a lot of them are,
singing stuff like that.
It's part of drama classes, right? So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and he excelled in Elvis impersonations, apparently.
Yeah, exactly.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, his first film, 1984, Top Secret. Now, Top Secret. If you don't know what this movie is, you all remember. It's sort of a spoof genre, right? So in the big one was Airplane back in the 80s. These are the same filmmakers that made this Top Secret. They went on to make Naked Gun with Leslie Nielsen.
I was just gonna say, like, so much with Leslie, pretty much every movie with Leslie Nielsen.
Plus, they made a TV show, Police Squad, where that's where he was first. That character was first introduced.
Yeah.
And then we went on to make Naked Gun, and then later on, it's 3 filmmakers that made Top Secret, if you can believe it.
Sure,
writer directors.
Well, I mean, with the amount of rapid fire jokes you're getting, I could,
And they went on to do other spoof stuff, like they even worked some of them on the Scary Movie, the horror spoofs.
Oh, really?
Like that.
That makes sense.
Anyways. The basic premises is, this is what this filmmaker said. They basically were trying to do like an Elvis spoof and also wanted to do a World War II spoof. They just put them together.
It's like, whatever.
Let's go.
Two of them walking with 2 different screenplays bumped into each other.
Exactly. But that's what the movie is about. This character, Nick Rivers, who's played by Val Kilmer, who is basically an Elvis.
Yeah.
Elvis pop star, is going and doing a tour of Germany. And
during the Nazi
war.
regime.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure there was lots of Americans touring in Nazi Germany then.
No, there were a lot of Americans doing tours.
There was.
They're touring for another reason.
And he accidentally bumps into a woman who's looking for her scientist father. There are some good actors in this movie.
Yeah. Peter Cushing.
Yeah.
And
from Star Wars.
Yep.
Omar
and also like every Dracula and horror movie ever. Yeah.
Well, and her father is played by, I don't know the actor's name, but he's Alfred in all the Batman.
Oh, that's right. That's where I recognized him from.
Yeah. So yeah, she's got to find her father, and then there's a whole French resistance that they
and
become
the names
part of.
are Deja Vu, Croissant.
I'm Deja Vu. Haven't we met before?
I'll always remember you, Deja Vu.
Yeah. So basically this movie it's just a bunch of, and even the filmmaker said this as well, that they just had all these little jokes and then they had to build the story around that. And it's just like joke after joke after, and a lot of the jokes are cheesy and stuff, but some of the scenes, like, this is actually interesting because talking about 80s movies, we've never really talked about a musical. This isn't totally a musical, but there's about 4 or 5 different musical numbers in it, where they're all Elvis ripoffs. When he's singing, when I love it when he's at the ball and it's supposed to be the other guy,
like the old war veteran or whatever, opera singer, and then he just goes up.
But Val Kilmer, he thinks that they're calling on him, so he goes up and he sings, and then he sings at a restaurant. Oh no, he does his actual concert. I love this song. It's like that slow Elvis song. He wants to kill himself.
He finds a noose and then he goes and puts his head into an oven.
His train tracks on the
train.
So there's some great musical numbers.
Hold on. We have the promotion for our channel. Wow, we should really take advantage of it. Piss off.
Wow, live. Anyway. Well, at least he's watching live. Thanks for the comment. But there's so it's just sort of like, spoof after spoof after. Some of the jokes hit, some of the jokes are just silly. Like the whole when they're at that restaurant and the waiter speaking in German and Val Kilmer goes, I don't know any German, and the woman goes, I know a little German.
And then he's over there. It's like all of the jokes are I would say the same caliber as like Naked Gun or but they're just so dumb and simple that you will probably remember them forever.
Exactly.
Like I have a drinking problem.
Or exactly.
Surely we have something we can find. We can, and don't call me Shirley.
Exactly. This whole movie is just plastered with that stuff, right? Is your horse sick? Oh, he's got a cough. He's just a little horse.
It's every like 30 seconds. I'm just like, God damn it. No.
Yeah. And it's even stuff they're not saying, right? Like, okay, so Peter Cushing, and I think they got this from another movie that he was in where he's got the not magnifying glass. Yeah. And he's got it on his eye, so it's through the magnifying glass, it looks really big. He pulls away, he has a really big eye. But there's also like, okay, so that whole scene
was in reverse.
Was shot in reverse.
Yeah.
So they go to Nick and Val Kilmer and the girl go to the library to speak to this librarian, and it's one shot, and they shoot the whole thing in reverse. They shot it in reverse, but then in the movie they play it forward, but so it looks kind of weird. But it's just like, why would I guess the filmmakers were just like, all right, let's shoot this scene in reverse. Okay, sounds good. There's no rhyme or reason for it. There's actually a great scene towards the end when he's fighting the guy who's the resistance leader, who's a whole other story there. The whole sort of like what was the movie with Brooke Shields? Blue Lagoon.
Oh yeah.
So that's what he's kind of from. Anyways, there's a fight scene there, and they fall into the water, and then they have that awesome
That
fight.
underwater scene was probably one of the coolest.
Yeah.
Like I remember making fun of Avatar for having that underwater fight scene, but like that was. They would get punched and like expel all their air, and then there's
Val Kilmer's mouth is open like the whole time.
Yeah, and then they are in an old timey Western bar, and there's the barmaid who's just like
hitting each other in the head with glass, and he gets thrown through the window,
breaks a chair on his head underwater. Yeah,
like that must have taken forever to shoot,
God.
and they must have had like weights or something to weight them down. Yeah, it's a hilarious scene that. But
it's way too much effort, probably, for
Yeah.
the amount
Exactly.
that it's in there.
Exactly. There's definitely some questionable, like when I watch it now and think, God, I watched this, like the cow stuff. It's just like,
Fine. No, I want to be the rear. Okay, yeah, you be a little asshole then.
yeah, you be the asshole.
Yeah, you.
But then what happens to that guy when he's in the suit?
There's so many.
Oh, there's so. And the other earlier, we're just talking about I'm talking about some of my favorite scenes. I love the scene when Val Kilmer, his character, gets arrested at one point and he's in the jail.
Yep.
And his manager comes to see him.
Sure.
His manager's with him. And his manager's like, Nick, I've tried everything. I've gone to the U.S. consulate. I've gone here. I've gone there. I just can't seem to get my wife to orgasm. And then he pulls out
my machine.
Have you tried this? And he pulls out this box that says "anal intruder" on it, and then that's actually
Oh
what
my
kills him
God.
Later on, yeah,
because he didn't realize that the European voltage
was 240 instead of 120. Oh,
anyways, I could just go on and on about these little. There's so many little gags.
Yeah,
like you said, the whole resistance, every guy in it, and they're fighting, and it's just the silliest things like. The typical that we've seen before when you're shooting through a window and you got to break the glass.
Yeah.
The window.
And he breaks his gun.
Yeah.
And then he gets a sledgehammer and that breaks. And then it goes to Val Kilmer and he's playing tic-tac-toe.
And then it shows another guy and all the windows are broken except for this one. So he breaks that last one just to shoot out of that one. Anyways. It's a funny movie. If you have not seen Top Gun, and you just want something
Top Secret.
Top Secret. If you have not seen Top Gun, watch Top Gun.
That's a different movie altogether.
Yeah.
Not as funny.
Did you watch it, Elvin, or have you seen that before?
I have a while back. Yes.
Yeah.
It's on same lines as Naked Gun.
Oh yeah.
But it's just
that's
what
type of comedy, right?
You don't need to follow any plot because there's
nothing
going on.
No, it's just one line after another line.
Yeah.
And just
it's funny. It's good.
Silly sort of slapstick stuff. It's kind of funny though because there were a bunch of. Actually, there's one thing that I read about it. This is actually Weird Al's favorite movie of all time.
What? Really?
Yep.
I can see that. Yeah.
He's always talked about it. He actually told Val Kilmer that once. Val Kilmer was like, "Really?" Which is funny because on one of the shows here we talked that I don't know, guys, if you've seen the Weird Al the
one with
Daniel
Radcliffe.
Yeah,
Daniel Craig plays Weird Al.
By the way, Daniel, so if you haven't seen, there's it's just called Weird, I think.
Yeah.
The Weird Al Yankovic story, which is a great movie. However, if you do see it, it's a spoof on itself.
Yeah.
So it's supposed to be a biography, but none of that stuff. Well, some of the stuff happened to him. But in the movie, he dates Madonna, and Madonna tries to take over the world or something. But my favorite part of the Weird Al story is when he writes "Eat It" first, and then Michael Jackson rips it off with "Beat It."
Yeah,
I just think it's funny because that's basically a spoof. And I don't know, did you guys ever see the Scary Movie stuff?
Oh yeah.
It's the same. It's all the same stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Wasn't there one, Elvin, where they spoofed Rambo years ago? What was that one called? It's Charlie Sheen.
No, it was Naked Gun, wasn't it?
No, it was another one.
Oh, I saw the.
It's Hot something. Hot.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And he's got
Hot Shots.
Hot Shots.
Yeah,
Yeah. That was good.
'cause- Yeah.
There was a second one too.
Hot
Yes.
Shots. Oh, part
Yeah.
two.
Part two.
Part
That's
two.
right.
Which
Yes.
is what was the Naked Gun the sequel called?
Oh, there was two. There's three
Or
of them.
there's
I
a
think.
bunch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
It's
the one after that.
22
was
and a half or something.
yeah,
And-
exactly.
with OJ was in all
Yes.
those.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
That's aged well.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
It's a cult following.
Yep.
They're all funny movies. I know this one kind of went under the radar. I don't think it did very well. Top Secret.
No.
Yeah.
It's not like the plane, trains, and automobiles.
No.
No.
Naked Gun. It didn't have that, brand power, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's sort of.
Well, I
sort
mean,
of
this came
tucked
out
in-
first,
Yeah.
so this was kind of was this their first movie? The what is it? The Zucker brothers?
Yeah.
No relation to the Zuckerbergs.
I think they did. Like they had a bunch of other things, but this was probably
Well,
their-
Airplane. Airplane was first, then Police Squad, then Top Secret.
right.
Oh, they did Hot Shots too. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
That's all they know how to do.
Naked Gun 33 and a third.
Yeah.
Oh, they did Mafia.
Oh, right. I remember that
It
one.
was obviously a spoof on The Godfather
Yeah.
with Jay Moore.
Actually, my favorite line one of my favorite lines is where the two of them are talking, and Val Kilmer says this. I never thought I'd meet a girl who did this and did that, and then she goes, "No, it sounds like some really bad movie." And they actually
then
they break the fourth wall.
Stare at the
Stare
camera.
at the camera. Like, so they're actually, they know it's about.
Oh.
Oh, actually, the song is Skeet Surfing.
Oh, the intro.
Yeah.
It's a Beach Boys ripoff about guys with double barrel shotguns who shoot clay pigeons while they're surfing, and it's an entire song. And that, like, right when that started, I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be good." Like, it immediately made me
People are
pay attention.
Running off the beach, 'cause they keep shooting at them. Oh.
So highly recommended if you want a good laugh.
Yeah.
If you don't want, one of those nights when you're at home and you're like, God, I just don't want to. I want to watch something, but I don't want to think.
Yep.
Which is just lots of that, but this is a good movie for that.
Yeah.
So 1984, Val Kilmer again is one of his. I don't know if he'd ever did any musicals. Oh, except for The Doors.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He must have sang all the Doors stuff too.
Probably, yeah.
If
he
Jim
We did all
Morrison.
these ones, and
Yeah.
I mean, doing Doors is way easier than doing Elvis.
Yeah, true. Acting wise, I think it's a little bit better. I mean, The Doors than this
Yeah.
one.
No,
Yeah, this is,
I'm surprised he didn't get an Emmy for this one. And
I am too. Yeah. Anyways, it's a good movie. It's a fun.
that was
movie.
a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a fun laugh. All right, shall
what
we
do we
move
have-
on?
Well, yeah. What do we have on deck next?
Well, we were gonna move to you, Elvin, to do Invincible.
Oh, okay. Yeah, episode 2. I'm gonna have to say this was probably the better of the two that's come out. There's a lot going on this episode. It's titled "In About 6 Hours, I Lose My Virginity to a Fish."
Yeah,
I mean,
and big
It's a pretty long
surprise there in
title.
Atlantis.
Pretty long title.
Yeah,
But very descriptive.
longest title ever.
Probably they're probably gonna outdo themselves. So basically,
going to be called Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Yeah.
there's multiple storylines in this, and
Yeah, there was a lot going on.
yeah, and it just continues all the way down to the post-credit scenes as well.
Mhm.
The main story is Mark has to go down to the parody Atlantis world that is in this show.
Yeah.
And on first thought, he was told by Cecil that he has to go and marry or do things with the queen that's left behind because Aquarius has been killed
Mhm.
by, I believe Mark was the one that killed him. I could be wrong. So that's the main thing. But before all that, at the beginning of the show, you got the graduation. They're graduating, and got all the people that are graduating. I think the principal is the gentleman who was in Family Matters, Carl.
Oh,
The dad from Family? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, Carl, the police officer.
Oh yeah. Also
So
from
he
Die
plays
Hard.
he voices
right.
the character.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
and
cool.
also they made him look like that character as well.
Yeah.
The likeness. So and apparently Kurtman is a huge fan of his character from Family Matters. So that's why that character is there. Cool. Okay. So we have graduation. You have Mark late for the graduation because Mark now is working for Cecil. So he's got to deal with a bad guy, Dr. Seismic. And his whole goal, Dr. Seismic, is to bring back everything in the humans have stolen in terms of natural resources. So like wood, rocks, all that stuff. So he's destroying all the types of buildings that don't use wood. And Mark goes to him, isn't that like most of the buildings?
I
Pretty
also
much.
like the line when he first ran into him, and he was like, "Oh, Professor Seismic," and he's like, "No, it's Doctor. I never taught."
Yeah. So he's a parody of Mole Man from Fantastic Four. It's a famous character from that comic lore, but he's a parody of that. You also have Adam Eve's story, which I find that really interesting because she has the ability to change molecular structures of things and change them around to whatever she feels like doing.
Yeah.
So she finds her mom gives her a call and says things are pretty bad at home. Come by. The family is kind of, like the dad and Eve don't get along. They have an issue. You need to check out Eve's Alone movie that came out during the summertime.
Yeah, I still gotta run through.
Yeah, that really fills in a lot of things what's going on with her. She's got her own set of problems, right? And so she comes home and she's obviously able to manipulate stuff. So she fills up the fridge with groceries and gives the mom groceries and says, "Here, you got all the groceries you need."
Yeah.
And then she also makes one of the apples that she gives into gold and says to her, "Sell this. You probably have enough money for a long time," right? But the father doesn't want anything to do with it because the father lost his job and now is working at a burger joint, which is the main burger joint that they all hang out with. And he's
where
very
Sylvie works.
Yeah, and he has pride. He's like, I don't want all of this stuff. Get it out of here. So they got this rift going on. I want to see how that plays out because it kind of reminds me of Jubilee from X-Men.
Yeah, absolutely.
She was in the outs with her mom and dad, although she was adopted. Who's to say Eve's not adopted, right? Oh, we got Bunga Dude said something here. Speaking of Family Matters, did you hear about the animated Steve Urkel Christmas special? No.
I vaguely remember that, yeah.
I don't remember that a lot.
Nope.
I don't remember that. No, it's old.
Oh.
I don't remember that.
Steve Urkel's dead, right?
No, he's alive.
Okay.
Yeah. Stop.
I don't know. When people
Well, why would you say that though if you didn't know? He's fine. He's fine.
Okay. He's okay.
He's okay.
You're right though. It is just one of those people that haven't been around forever. You're like, is that person alive?
Yeah.
I don't remember this Christmas special.
It's new, he's saying.
Oh, I thought it was old because why would they make a Steve Urkel Christmas special?
Did he do that?
There's a trailer 10 hours ago.
Oh, that's how new it
is.
Santa. I'll have to check that out. Anyways, before I was rudely interrupted by Cowabunga Dude, just kidding.
Yeah. How dare you bring us information?
We have a whole bunch of other things going on. I'll kind of run it through here quickly. I'm not going to get into too much detail, and I don't want to ruin it for anybody who hasn't seen it. You've also got issues with the Guardians of the Globe. They've got issues coming together as a team because of some attitude problems, and some of them actually really suck. The Immortal lets them know that. You have a new member that's trying to get in the team. His name is Shape Smith. There's a little bit of a background on him quickly for people who haven't seen it. It'll show you who this person is. So he's trying to get in the team. His ability is obviously to shapeshift into pretty much any person that he sees. You also have Mark's mom still trying to get back into normality. She's having issues. She's a real estate agent, and she kind of
damn cupboard.
Yeah, she can't seem to get it back on track. So she's trying to figure that out. She goes back into the house and starts drinking because hey, bury your sorrows in alcohol. That's the typical thing to do, and so that's not working out for
American way.
That's not working out for her. You also have Mark his story with working for Cecil, she finds out, she gives Cecil hex, like, why is my son working for you? And he's like, well, your son came to me, I didn't go to him, and he wants to work for me, and therefore I allowed him to work for him for me. And then I also am very careful, we're not going to get him into any situations, which I find that is not going to happen throughout the show. And then you also have Mark dealing with a job in Gotham parody called Midnight City.
Sure.
So the reason, it's a small area, it's sort of like a giant crystal dome covered in one part of the metropolis that they're in, and it's all dark all the time there. And it's a curse because one of the persons, is it Magic something? I can't remember his name now. Midnight Magic. So when he died, the curse ended up coming to fruition, and it cursed that whole area and made it midnight forever. So it's always going to be dark, Gotham-esque like there. And in season 1, we had a character named Darkwing, who is like a Batman parody. Not
is
like,
he?
Yeah, he's a Batman parody, right?
Whoa,
what a coincidence! Dark Wing.
He doesn't
Not
look
Doc,
like him.
not Doc.
Oh, no.
He dies.
Yeah.
So
Well, he gets killed by Omni-Man.
yeah,
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to say that because if somebody didn't see it.
Well, just watch it. It's good.
And then
Everyone
his
dies.
sidekick,
Just
picks up
everyone
the
dies in the
mantle.
show.
Yeah, pretty much. You're not wrong there. His sidekick picks up the mantle. His sidekick's name is Night Boy.
Yep.
What? Knife Boy?
Night
Night
Yeah.
Boy.
Okay.
Because
He's
it's
like
dark
a-
always there. So Night Boy, who's
He's like a
AKA
Dick Grayson,
Robin.
Robin.
Okay.
Yeah, Robin.
Nightwing.
Aren't they all
sort of-
parodies? Like, isn't
Yeah,
there
they're
like
all-
a
Yeah,
Flash
pretty
and
much.
a
I
Wonder
mean,
Woman, and
Yeah, pretty much. And then
not
so
Marvel though. They're just ripping off
And
DC. They got
they're
both.
ripping off anybody they can.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anybody.
If they wore a cape, there's some
or
allegory
a
of them in
cowl
the show.
or
it.
tights. Yeah, they're ripping everybody off. So, anyways, Mark was told by Cecil, bring this guy in. We want to deal with him and kind of figure out he's gone off the rockers. So one of the things that Darkwing had was the ability to go into his shadow.
Every time you
realm.
say Darkwing, I am waiting for you to finish the name Duck.
Yeah, I
Yes.
know.
Totally what I was thinking.
I'm trying very hard not to because I love
When
that.
there's trouble, you call DW.
Oh, sometimes.
Best theme song ever.
So the night shadow or the dark shadow, whatever you want to call it, shadow dimension, it engulfs you in there.
Shadow
And
realm.
he tried to use that on Mark, and Mark's like, no, I'm not having any of this. There is a moment there where Mark shows the Voltrumites type of thinking, the evil thinking,
Yeah.
where he's like, I can leave you here and you can get killed by the night creatures
Yeah.
if you don't come with me right now. Right. And I was like, whoa, okay. That's sort of like a hint of what might happen. Let's get dangerous.
Let's get dangerous.
Don't worry, we will when we start talking about Loki.
You will.
Yes. So yeah, anyways, he brings him in or unconsciously knocks him out. That happens there. And then we also have the Lizard League. Man, it just like filled with characters, this show.
Yeah.
There's
What's
so
the-
many people to unpack.
What's the Lizard League?
Serpent Society.
Serpent Society, right?
Yeah. And also G.I. Joe, Cobra.
Yeah, Cobra Command.
So these guys are fighting the Guardians of the Globe. I mean, this is like free agent heroes that are fighting each other.
No,
They're
this is
not.
Wish,
They're like low level.
Wish.com.
They're low level heroes and villains that nobody cares about. Street thugs.
Yeah.
Right? Just one step above street thugs. So they're going there back and forth. And in that story, there's one of the Serpent guys. He takes leadership because the main guy is in jail. And long story short, near the end, the guy who was trying to do the coup and take over the group finds out that the main guy comes out of jail. Main guy doesn't like it, pops a bullet in that guy's. You know what? Down goes that guy.
His head.
Problem solved. There is that parody of Cobra, because in Cobra G.I. Joe they had Influx fighting amongst who's leader with either Cobra or Serpentor. They're always vying to be number one on there. So, and then obviously the big base that Cobra Commander had, they actually kind of hinted that's their layer too, which is like such on the nose. Like they didn't even try like to say that this is something else. They're like, nope, we're gonna call it the same thing.
Yeah.
Right. Terror Drome, they called it. So that was going on over there. And then back to where Mark is in Atlantis. He thinks he's supposed to mate with this queen. And she's like, hell no, I don't want to touch you. And she's like, you got to go beat this guy. It's like a giant monster, sea monster that he has to fight. And the sea monster literally much like gives him a good, kicking. And then there's a weak point of a Mark that Cecil finds out. The monster has this sonic type of voice or echoing that he does, and it really stops Mark in his tracks. And this is how smart Cecil is. He immediately recognized this could be a weapon to use against Invincible in the event if he goes rogue. And they go, let's go figure out what this is. Let's get that weaponized, and we'll have this in the back pocket in the event this guy goes crazy. We can use that. And so that you see Cecil always looking out for the interest of Earth rather than the heroes there. He always has a backup plan. He's sort of like Batman in a way. He's always got a backup plan set aside for all the heroes, right?
Or is he more like a Nick Fury type thing?
Yeah, actually, you know what? Maybe more of Nick Fury. Always has. Well, not the new Nick Fury now. The old Nick Fury from the first 10 years of Marvel.
The good.
I don't know.
Fury. Yeah.
The new Nick Fury is feeding cats. So
right.
So
And
that's pretty much
yeah.
That's pretty much the main story. Near the end, though, we have sort of, I would say, 2 post-end credit scenes, because they have the astronaut from season 1 that was left behind on Mars, showing that he's, I think it's called Sequoids or Cichids, something like that.
Essentially,
they're the ones that they took over. They're the ones in Mars.
More like it or the Thing kind of thing,
or like Starfish, right?
Well, no, but I mean, like, have you seen the Thing? John Carpenter, The Thing. Anyway,
yes,
there's
this
alien thing that takes over, and then they
yeah.
can't tell if they're infected or not. So
Yeah, sort of like that. So they're on their way from Mars to Earth.
Yeah,
right? That's another story that's going to unfold in this season.
Well, no, he's still on Mars.
Yeah,
his actual body,
but he's possessed.
And then yeah. So then they're on the way back.
Yeah, they're going to come in a ship, and that's going to be a big problem right there. And then you have the post-credit scene where Levi, who we saw in the first episode, who can go between dimensions, goes into a dimension where Invincible is actually a bad guy, but he's held captive. But in that, they drop a bomb. They're saying that, hey, Invincible says that my dad, Omni-Man, was actually killed. They figured out a way to kill him, and it did take out all of Europe to do so. So all of Europe, rest in peace.
Oops.
Yeah, but they were able to capture him as well, because they caught him sleeping in his weak point, and they got him. So he's taking that information, and he's going to probably use that on his world, right?
Yeah.
He's like taking this information, and so I'm wondering if he works for Cecil, or he's going to work with Cecil at some point, make some money out of it. Like, I wonder what's going to happen here with the 2 of them, and see how it unfolds, and if Mark's going to actually have this happen to him too as well. So that's what's going on in season 2, which episode 2, which I thought was far superior than season 1 in terms of whole lot of stories happening. It might be too much. Instead of like 4 or 5 storylines, maybe just 2, 3. But who knows what's going to happen? They might end up having 2 stories kind of merge eventually. But there's only going to be, I think, 1 more episode 2 more episodes after this, and then they're going to take a break and come back in January or February for the other 4 episodes. So we'll see what happens. I personally like this episode. I know it's heavily packed, and there's so much things going on, but I'm gonna have to give this episode probably, I would say, 8.5.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys watched it.
I did. Yeah.
Yep. I watched it.
I don't know. I feel like season 1 was so much fun and did so many cool things. And because it was almost a parody and kind of over the top and well animated, well written, and I was interested the whole time. And then this season, I'm just like, I don't care. I don't know how or why. There's nothing that I can point to specifically that I'm like, oh, it's bad because of this. Because I still think like all the character development and all the stories are cool, but I don't know. It's just so far, again really like season 1. Think it's great. Think everyone should watch it. Season 2, I'm just like, okay, I'm just kind of over the show, which is weird. I don't know why.
Interesting.
I think it happens. I think you grow out of stuff. So I still haven't watched season 1, but I did watch a recap finally, so I kind of know what happens. But I'm still waiting. I just don't think this is kind of my thing. And yeah, there was a lot going on in this episode. I was like, what? What?
Yeah. Someone who hasn't seen season 1, even if you got a recap of it, it's still not going to give it that wow factor.
Yeah.
Right. When they introduce a certain character from season 1, you're like,
yeah,
okay, cool, whatever. What does this mean? Right. There's already like 4 other things going on. So from that point of view, I get it, because if you're not into the show and if it doesn't pull you in with season 1 characters that you wanted to see what happened to them, then this episode might just be so convoluted and you're just like, whatever, things are happening. Cool. People getting their head smashed in. Right?
Yeah. Like I understood, you gave a better explanation than watching it. I should just call you next time. Ellen, just tell me what happened.
Yeah, just get the Elvin commentary over it.
Cole's notes. Elvin's notes.
I'm into this show. It's my jam, right?
Sure.
It falls into what I collect and everything. So the biggest disappointment I have with this show is they haven't yet found a company that makes, I mean, they have found Marvel Select 7-inch line that does it, but it's terrible articulation. I don't want to get into it, but I'm waiting for a Japanese company like Mayfix or SH Figure Arts to say, hey, we'll take up the rights to this and make some really cool figures, because the parody characters with their costumes look absolutely awesome. They're so far out, and it'd be awesome to put in my collection with the DC and Marvel lines, or even compare them, right?
Well, yeah, or you could have like their counterparts.
Yeah, exactly.
Beside
right?
them.
Like,
what was there was a Batman villain with Sludge or whatever.
In the real DC, you mean?
Yeah.
Scarecrow, you talking about?
No. It's just a big pile of mud with a big mouth.
Oh, Clayface.
Yeah. With the magma guys, that the seismic dude or whatever, they looked exactly like Clayface from like the 90s Batman cartoon. Like they took the same drawing and just changed the coloring and made it look like lava. But it was like the same mouth and face and eyes. It was funny.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
So what would you give this out of 10, guys?
I'd still just give it like a 6. Like it's
okay.
It's not doing anything wrong. I just don't care anymore.
It's not moving the needle for you.
Yeah.
So it needs to have something, because you're almost like,
wait, I forgot to mention the scene in the shower. Did that not move the needle for you?
Huh?
The scene in the showers with Immortal. And you don't remember that scene?
No.
Oh, come on. Duplicate in the shower with Immortal?
No.
So
I don't remember.
So Immortal is in the shower, and
Duplicate's the one. She's the one who can make tons for herself.
Yeah, so she comes out to talk to her ex-boyfriend. I can't remember the guy's name. He's a total douche in the show. And he cheated on Eve with her, Duplicate. And then now Duplicate broke up with her, with him, and he's trying to get back with her, and she's like, no. And then all of a sudden, she started getting a little, how should I word this in a PG way? She was very emotional into it. Yeah, she was really into it, because one of her powers is not only to duplicate, but she could feel her duplicate's emotions, shall we say. So one of her duplicates was still with Immortal in the other room, and she sort of stopped talking to this guy and just sort of made some gestures or and it's just funny. Immortal walks out.
I remember,
Immortal walks out and just like, hey man.
So
I'm the leader.
Yeah, like there's nothing wrong with it. It's just not hitting it for me. Like this season, I don't know why. Again, I think you need
to have a couple of brewskis before you watch it.
Maybe no. I don't know. Like again, I only watched the first season like a couple weeks ago, and really enjoyed it. And then I was like,
it's
all right,
weird.
season 2.
I don't get it. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
I think maybe
expect-
just because I feel like the first season just was a.
Is it because
contained story.
Omni-Man's not there?
Maybe
Because he
think-
pushes the boundaries, right?
I think
Is he the main part of season 1?
He-
Omni-Man?
yeah,
That's
yeah,
all
yeah,
about his
absolutely.
story.
I think
'Cause
maybe
he-
that's it.
He's the whole. He gets rid of the.
And
whole,
you're not the first to say
Yeah.
this.
globe.
I've heard other people say this too. There's a void missing. He's
Yeah,
and it's. I mean, come on. He's a very famous actor who plays the voice as well.
sure.
Yeah.
Right. That voice you hear, you kind of sit up and go, "Oh, okay,
Yeah.
things about to get real here." Right.
Because like it's a cool play on Superman, which normally
Yeah.
is just goody two shoes. He's
Yeah.
the America's hero. He's the Earth's
Yeah.
hero, and he's such a nice boy. And
that
that's
heel turn really.
boring ass Superman.
Yeah.
And then I know you love him, but I mean,
Yeah, I
when
know,
you
I get it,
Break
I
the
get it.
character down or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then this is just like, oh, this is cool. And then it's just like he's not there, and it's just like, all right, it's just a dollar store Avengers and it's like Marvel and DC, and it's just like, oh, this is Man Bat, and it's like, okay, I bet he doesn't have superpowers. He doesn't have superpowers, and he has a grappling hook, and it's like, cool. This is duplicate. Oh, can they duplicate? Wow, this is okay. So like that's just I feel like I'm getting a cheaper version of something that already exists as opposed to a cool take on something.
I think the issue with this is I read some of the comic books, so I'm aware of what's going to come soon.
Sure.
But
Right.
I think the issue with this is for the average viewer, there's this void of Omni-Man gone now, but
Yeah.
whatever they're gonna do, it's not coming fast enough, I think.
Right.
And I'm looking at it from the average viewer's perspective. I think it should. I see the writings on the wall. I know it's gonna happen,
Yeah.
but for the average viewer, they don't know that, and they're just like,
Sure.
"Why am I still hanging around here if the main guy that I gravitated towards to watching this show is gone?"
Yeah.
Right? But I can promise you, there's gonna be some things that's gonna be coming down the pipeline.
Sure.
That's gonna be if they follow the way the comics are, because they did make some changes,
Yeah.
including Mark's girlfriend in the show. That was kind of developed for the show. But I promise that if the season, if they do decide to do it this season, I don't know what's going to come, but the stuff that's going to come down the pipeline is going to be worth the wait. But
Oh, that's good.
I get it from you guys' point of view.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's Mark Hamill's voice? Who does he do? Has he been in it yet?
I don't think he's been in it yet. No.
But he's from season 1.
Mark Hamill?
Mark Hamill. He's I thought I saw it on IMDb.
Yeah, he's Art
Art
Rosenbaum.
Art Rosenbaum.
Who's Art Rosenbaum?
Oh,
Yeah.
that I have to look at that up.
Anyways, I was wondering if he was one of the main people or not.
No. But what did you give it out of 10?
I'm probably with Justin around 6.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there's got to be, I don't know. You know, when I'm watching a show, and there's lots of times when I'm watching some sort of series.
Oh,
and
sorry.
there's-
Art Rosenbaum was the guy that created the costumes for both in Omni-Man and
Oh, right. He's
Yeah.
He's been in. Has he been in this
Yeah.
season then?
No, not.
Yeah.
I think he was season 1. He created Invincible's new suit.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then you see him at the end.
So he hasn't been in these 2 episodes yet.
He's not a main character by any means.
No.
No, I was just gonna say, like, there's been many times when I'm watching a series, and then by the 3rd episode, it's like, oh, okay,
Sure. Yeah. No.
now I get it, or
Yeah.
now I don't want to keep watching.
or it
But,
clicks. Yeah.
yeah, so hopefully it'll get there. But if not, whatever.
All right. What do we got
What did
next?
you- Did you give it a?
Yeah, I
number?
give it 8.5.
8.5. All right.
I think I'm more invested in this than the two of you guys, which is totally fine.
Yeah.
It's up my wheelhouse, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Oh, what do we got next on tap?
Well, now we got Rick and Morty,
All
This-
right.
episode 5, and
Is our Rick or Morty contestant there?
No,
Niet.
yet.
Is he arriving fashionably late again?
Oh, it's a day of the week.
It's a day. It's a day.
Should we do Loki first and then wait for Rick after?
Or we can do Loki.
Let's do Loki. Let's get him a chance to do, because he was doing Rick and Morty for us.
Okay.
Okay.
I forgot that I wasn't doing that, and then realized that I wasn't. Yeah, then Loki season finale.
What a finale, eh?
It was, I think it was a great send off or set up for what's to come.
Wait, send off. Who are we sending off here?
Well, I'm one of the main Avenger people. We know Loki is now. So essentially, they go back. Okay, so it's a huge. No, I mean like a climax ending of this. Apparently, they're doing a third season.
Really?
No.
I know.
Um,
No, it's the Secret Wars.
If they
and then,
okay, so I don't mind a third season, but if they do Sylvie as Loki as the third season, I'm out.
no,
You
I don't.
can't name
they
it
didn't set that
Loki
up at all.
and then have her be the Loki. I know she's
No,
a
no, no.
Loki, but
No, I
you know
don't-
what I mean? Like Tom Hiddleston has to be part of it.
Yeah,
Right?
no. So it starts off, and the entire thing is just a big Groundhog Day.
Yeah, because he's learned how to use his time slipping.
Yeah, so he's got time slipping down, and then he tries to go back and fix the temporal loom,
Yeah,
and then
because he figures that you just have to keep going back further.
Yeah.
and further.
and
Yeah.
then he's just like, he goes up to OB and he's like, all right, how long would it take for me to learn as much physics and science stuff as you? And they're like, centuries. He's like, perfect. And then it just goes century later.
Yeah.
And so he fixes everything. Everything starts working. He has gone through this a billion times, and just like, all right, go down here. Don't drop this. You're gonna trip on that. Do not put it down. It will fall off. Don't do that. And
He's repeating people's lines even.
yeah. And then it's all inevitable anyway, because they didn't account for an eternal amount of time threads showing up in there.
Yeah.
So then after he realizes, okay, nothing we do here will fix this. Then he's like, okay, well, I'll have to go back and stop Sylvie from killing He Who Remains.
Right. So they basically go back to the last episode of season 1.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Which was super cool to go back in like the elevator, and then he just like kind of comes to and he's like, okay, what are we going at from here now?
Yeah.
And then he has a conversation with He Who Remains. What up, AI Collectibles?
It was actually also good because He Who Remains, we actually haven't seen him in this season. He's only been, what's his name, Time.
Victor Timely.
Victor Time,
yeah.
which is a completely different character. So it's good to go back and see that iteration of him.
Yeah. And then they have a big long conversation about actually he's known that this it's kind of like, I knew this was happening. I lied that I didn't know, but also the first statement I had still is correct of I want you to take over because I'm tired. So you can either kill me, destroy everything, or run this thing.
Yeah.
And then he keeps going back over and over and over and over and over to try and stop Sylvie. And every time she kills He Who Remains, which then kind of changes the statement that he says when he says see you soon. So he's not really saying that to Sylvie, he's saying that to Loki. And
Do you like the tie-in?
what do you mean?
Do you like how they went back to season 1
Yeah.
in that pivotal moment?
They go all the way back to season 1, episode 1, when Mobius and Loki first meet.
Yeah. And then also it was cool that there was an initial shock and like confusion, but then because they deal with time so much that he's just like, all right. And when he starts explaining things and talking to Mobius, Owen Wilson, he just goes, oh, okay, you're from the future and we've done this already. Okay.
Yeah.
And then and then you get the backstory of him and Renslayer and how he couldn't kill one of the variants. And then that's kind of what sent her down that spiral and becoming this power hungry beast, and him not being able to take that extra step, which was super cool. And yeah, I think it made season 1 as integral to season 2. I mean, that's, I think, how it should be usually when you have a first season, which is at this point now completely completely entwined with season 2, as opposed to, oh, here's a story and now here's another story. They are one piece of content, essentially.
Mhm.
They are the same story all the way through. Oh yeah, the huge like conversation at the end when they're like still battling with free will, or if yeah, it was so much fun to just sit there. And also when he's like battling whether he has to kill Sylvie or not, which I'm glad they didn't make a huge deal about. Like, it was something that he was battling with internally, but it wasn't this big like, oh, now he had to kill the person he likes or whatever.
Right.
That was just a slow buildup of like, all right, he's going through some shit, he's got to deal with this, now he's got a tough choice to make, and then it's like, oh, by the way, he's gonna have the toughest choice and he's gonna end up being the thing he fears, which is alone. And yeah,
But it gave us something that we didn't get from other series, and that's a character arc.
yeah, an arc,
A real
and
character
development.
Who
and
knew?
arc. Yeah.
yeah,
From that first episode of season 1, when he's basically coming Loki's Loki.
Yep.
That we knew from Avengers and stuff, and he's
Yep.
just jumped right out of where we saw him last in Endgame. We knew what he's like to where he ends up here.
yeah, and it
Was-
only took like 3 centuries.
Exactly. But that's why, you know, what you're saying before, Elvin, like, okay, so are we going to, like, will we see Loki again? Like, would they make a season 3, or are they
I
going to
don't
bring
think
him?
so. Well,
I
And
don't
didn't
think
Tom, didn't Tom
Sorry, go ahead.
Hiddleston already say it was been a nice 14-year journey or something? He came out.
that's
Yeah,
what I
but
mean. It
that's-
was kind of like if this is like this Loki where he stays forever,
Mhm.
because he's one of the original Avengers that.
Not Avenger.
Well, no, but I mean like the Avenger
Yeah.
movie
Yeah.
One of
Cast.
the original castings
cast. Yeah, exactly.
to start off that whole thing. Yeah.
And I don't know of many that got as much of a complete full circle. I mean, literally in an Ouroboros or a Mobius strip or Ouroboros loop or whatever.
Mhm.
But his story went absolutely full circle in so many different movies. And I like at this point, this show made Loki probably my favorite MCU character at this point.
He was the sort of like a lightning in a bottle. The
Yeah.
character Loki
Ironic.
is
who
not
his
that
brother
big. Is not that popular in the comics.
No.
Like, I didn't care for Loki at all.
No.
With all the, even though Thor, the character itself, is one of my favorites, I didn't care for Loki the brother.
Mhm.
I'm like, I knew who he was
Yeah.
and what his capabilities were, but I just didn't care for that. Tom Hiddleston catapulted that character
Yeah.
through his brilliant acting.
Mhm.
He made
Well, and it was
Loki
also accompanied by-
likable.
Well, yeah, and also too, this show is the first time, because like obviously Thor and Odin and Baal and there's so much Nordic references, obviously, because they're Nordic gods. This was the first time that I didn't feel like it was a comic book like Marvel thing. It felt like a modern
Mhm.
Nordic tale of a god. And this is the first, like, I've never thought of Thor in the Marvel movies as like Nordic folklore, but this like especially like Yggdrasil at the end when he becomes part of the Tree of Life, and that just the whole development of it, it was like, oh, this is like a cool take on old folklore.
But that being said, there was also tons of times in this series where I forgot he was a god.
Yeah.
You know, he's
Yeah.
just a
Yeah, which
you
is
know,
a shame.
guy. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
What up? Hello,
Hello there.
you are here now.
Yes.
Fashionably late as
No
usual.
worries.
My appearance.
Did he
Yeah,
knock
you
on the
look like
door?
balls.
Pardon?
Did you knock
He
on the
didn't
door?
knock. No,
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 not
he
this
didn't knock.
time.
not this time.
Shame on
Sorry,
you.
I'll just put it back
Oh,
over here.
yeah. Sorry, man. Put it there.
We're talking
We're
about
just
Loki.
talking about
Oh,
Loki.
yes.
What'd you think?
We already talked about Invincible. Did you
Well,
want to
good,
give your
because-
score for the Invincible? We're not going to go over it again, but do you have a score for Invincible?
What did you guys give it? I'm curious.
No. You can't because
Oh.
that'll sway your numbers.
Okay.
Gee, dead silence
Oh.
is awesome.
Well, I haven't thought too much about Invincible.
When did you watch
that
it?
hurts. That hurts.
Maybe a 7.
Maybe a 7.
Maybe
Wow.
a 7.
Okay.
7. Yeah, I think 7's fair.
Okay.
I didn't discuss it today, but that's why I'm not thinking about it very much. I was
No.
thinking about Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
Yeah, as
and,
you
and
should.
Loki, because let's be honest, out of all the shows today, those are the two that have had big meaningful things
Right.
happen. Rick and Morty had a
Oh.
massive
We haven't gotten
thing.
into.
I know,
Rick
don't
and
worry,
Morty yet,
I'm
yeah.
not talking about it yet, but massive impact there. And then Loki, it was the season finale.
Yeah.
I think Invincible's still starting up. How many episodes is the
It's only
season
the
supposed to?
second.
Oh,
No, I mean in
Oh,
total.
in total, I don't know what it is. 6, 8,
Elvin, how many?
Eight.
8 episodes a season?
8.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be difficult to get something as impactful as we did with the first season, how it built up, and then at the end we just get hit with this massive
We
impact
literally
of
said something similar to that. Yeah.
Pardon?
We literally said something similar to that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be difficult to get there. But seeing as the writers have done it before, I'm not, completely saying it won't happen.
Yeah. Like I think our main, Chris and I's main conclusion was like, Omni-Man's not in it, and he's arguably the most interesting thing. So now I'm just getting dollar store Marvel and DC stuff.
Well, yeah, but like, what do you expect right now?
Yeah.
If he returned right off the bat, it wouldn't have an impact. Him leaving at the end, him almost crying when Mark says those final words to him.
Yeah.
What was it? I've got you.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah, no, and I think story-wise it makes sense, and definitely will have a fairly heavy impact when he does come back. And so, yeah, no, I mean, I'm not. It's fine. I'm just not like, wow,
Yeah.
season 1 was fun. This one's like, all right,
It's gonna take some time
Sure,
to
yeah.
build up again.
Yeah.
That's just what I'm thinking. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Oh,
let's go
yeah,
back to Loki.
we're into Loki. We're just talking about all the stuff that's happening in Loki. We kind of went all over the place. We're not really going from beginning to end,
Mhm.
talking to some of the highlight points.
it's a super
Oh,
complex.
oh,
loop.
can we take a time out for a second here? This has something to
Yes.
do with last week.
Do you know what? I think we should. Because I looked up some stuff as well.
Oh,
All right.
okay.
so let's
Oh,
give
hold
some
on,
context.
Hold on.
We need to
Okay.
give some context.
Okay, so last week we
Yeah.
stumbled upon an argument. Me and Nathan, we
Nathan.
were talking about how Marvel is looking to shift from Kang to Doctor Doom because of the situation with Jonathan Majors' court date and maybe possible sentencing, allegedly all of this stuff. And I was saying that Doom would be an upgrade anyways because he's the heavy hitter. And then Nathan could have stopped me there and said, hold on a second. Whoa, did the Peter Griffin, whoa, kind of thing. And said, hold on. He goes, Kang is more powerful than Doom. And I turned around and said, let's take it outside.
You can
And-
actually watch that full fight
Pay-per-view.
on pay-per-view Saturday night. No, on our channel. Go down. There's a whole clip
right
of the
before
two of them.
the main card.
Yeah.
We're right there. So
So is this-
Logan
is this
Paul with the
round
main
two?
card.
Is this round 2 right
yeah.
now?
So this is not round 2. This is the killer blow that we're gonna give to Nathan. And I have my resident comic book expert D on live here, and he chuckled. He almost fell off his chair laughing at the premise that Kang is better than Doom. But we're gonna give Nathan the opportunity to
Not better, stronger.
Yeah, a whole
So
lot
more powerful.
stronger, better looking, better costume, all of that.
Like, I'll give better costume. Yeah,
Better looking.
100%. Dr. Doom's got a better costume.
I thought that's what you guys were talking about, just the way they looked.
yeah, GQ.
I could argue about that.
Yeah.
But we're gonna
Right.
give Nathan the floor. Go ahead,
Go ahead,
Nathan. Present your argument.
So when I was reading about it, I found someone wrote it really, really well that Doctor Doom is the super prototype. He's powerful. There's no denying that. He is quite powerful, mixing tech and magic. But the only reason why Kang generally loses, because not head to head, because they don't really do that, but why Kang will lose is because of the hero needs some sort of plot armor. There needs to be a way to defeat the guy who controls a whole dimension. And by dimension, I don't just mean like, oh, this is one realm. No, I mean dimension is in like the matter of time, which is beyond anything. Especially in Marvel, time is usually considered one of the most powerful weapons someone can have, if not the most powerful thing there is. We've seen that recently with the last several Avenger movies when they're going for the Infinity Stones, and time was one of, if not the most powerful one used out of all of them. Oh, what's this? D says King just always flees back on the timeline. Yeah, the reason why he does that though is because he's overpowered. Marvel has to write him so he's a little
He
weaker.
sucks. Doom choked him out like 6 times.
Iron Man's defeated Dr. Doom every single time. Dr. Doom has never beaten Iron Man, a rich billionaire. He is the Batman of the Marvel universe, and he gets beaten by him every time. A tech wizard. I no, Dr. Doom. Come on.
Elvin, do you have a rebuttal?
Yes, Dr.
like a
Doom is a
debate.
whole lot smarter than Kang. Kang has tried to beat Dr. Doom and has lost every single time in the comics. So where you got this idea that he can't beat Iron Man is incorrect, because he could beat everybody in the Marvel world, and he's done it. It's called Emperor Doom. He's actually punched in the ribcage of Thanos and pulled out his whole vertebrae with the gauntlet.
I could say the same thing about Deadpool. There's one where Deadpool kills the whole Marvel universe. Deadpool's stronger than Dr. Doom, confirmed.
No, so because Deadpool killed them doesn't mean that Dr. Doom didn't kill Deadpool.
Yeah,
right?
because the comic ends with Deadpool being the last remaining creature or being like actual character in all of Marvel, and then he goes after the authors because he breaks the fourth wall and kills them too.
What did you?
That's how powerful he is. I think it's called Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe.
Okay, well, Emperor Doom is the king of all. He's the emperor, and he was the most recent comic books. He is the biggest, baddest. He's beaten Galactus. He like knocked him out on his floor. The only thing Kang can do, and I'm not saying Kang's no slouch, or he's like, Doom. Yeah, by the way, Doom does time travel as well too, so he has that ability. Just like
I have a quick note about that as well, though.
Wait, his time's not up yet.
Yeah, okay.
I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Doom can time travel. He does use it, but there's a difference between having it as just a small little arsenal thing that you have, just a little weapon. Oh, I can time travel as well, compared to the guy where he's the master of it. It's sort of like having someone that can play chess versus.
Is he the master
Magnus
now? Because
Carlsen.
Loki's showing that he's not the master anymore.
Well, he did, but it was only after he defeated one variant. There are so many other variants of Kang out there, and combined is what makes him the threat. That's the whole point of Kang, is he's the super genius who's also related to Dr. Doom. He's supposed to be the no longer the prototype. He's the final version. That's how Marvel's kind of envisioned.
He's related
Kang.
to Reed Richards.
Yeah. Well, there's some relation there. Reed Richards was extremely intelligent.
He's the great grandkid of Reed Richards.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but he's supposed to be this development of. This is how I can't remember who in Marvel said this, but
I don't think Kang I don't think
after.
Kang masters time travel. He just knows time travel well because he makes mistakes when he goes into time, right? So I don't think
can I ask quickly what mistakes?
Well, Dee just mentioned that the insects. He changes the whole course. And have you read any of the Kang comic books, Nathan?
I have read all the recaps.
Oh, okay. So there is incidents where he does go back in time to fix his problems, and he ends up creating more problems.
That's how time travel works. That's how this whole story works.
Then you're not a master of time traveling, right?
Well,
you're just going back in time and making mistakes over and over.
Let's look at another time traveler, Doctor Who. Doctor Who is.
I thought you were going to say Marty McFly.
But anytime you have time travel in any sort of fictional universe, there's always has to be an aspect of messing around with the events of the future. You're going to disrupt something.
I think Phil Connors could beat them all because
Who?
he's the master of time, as we saw in Groundhog Day. And he has accepted that some things can't be changed, like the old homeless guy who's always destined to die. And then he moves on and he wins a competition or plays piano or something. I don't remember.
The other thing is with Doom.
Yeah,
is
does Kang or Dr. Doom play piano?
yeah, Doom does play piano. He actually.
Yeah. Damn it.
Doom also wields magic, which Kang doesn't.
Yeah, but Kang's like a wizard of time.
You're grasping at straws now.
Oh, that's the best sentence I've ever heard. Yeah, boy, he's got magic, yeah, boy.
He also has a red ruby shoes.
He's got better boots.
Yeah.
Better boots.
Yeah.
So yeah, you have officially lost that battle.
No, let us know in the comments who you thought won.
And
D, don't spam.
All right, okay. Let's get back into speaking of mistakes. Let's get back into Loki, the show that made me go to sleep so many times. And so many.
you know what we need? We need a jingle that says like Elvin hates everything.
Da-da-da. Nathan, what do you think of the episode?
Do you? Well, oh gosh,
Don't mention
really
Kang
liked it.
was the reason why you loved it.
I really liked this episode.
And he
At
said
first-
all accounts he's going to spam all of it.
At first, I was really worried
Mhm.
because immediately in my mind, I felt like they were jumping into the big conclusion at the start of the episode.
Yeah.
Sure.
True.
And then they showed, nope, that's not the case. And they built up this whole idea of, well, like, how is he going to resolve this? Oh, he just needs to do one new thing. He'll fix it. He just
Yeah.
needs to keep making changes. And then they hint, oh, yeah, he's actually done this like 40, 50, 100 times before. And he's constantly made adjustments. And after centuries, as we find out, after centuries of trying, he realizes that there's no way to fix it.
Yeah.
And I love that twist
Mhm.
because it's different. It's like the only way to win is to do what Kang wants, and that's not winning.
Mhm.
That's all you're doing is resolving the problem temporarily.
Well, it's
Well-
also like he's trying to fix it by being something he's not, which is he's trying to be like, I can be the hero and all my friends will live and everything's gonna be okay. And it's like, yeah, but that's not your purpose. Your purpose is to lose and to be in the stepping stone for everyone else. So you're always destined to be alone. And then finally he accepts that, and then but yeah, having like so many false victories when it's like, oh, and he fixed it, everything's and he fixed it, and everyone's dead now, and I fixed it, and he's known you're here the whole time.
Yeah. Well, I'm curious. What do Elvin and Chris? What do you guys think?
I was thinking back. I didn't think this was the best season. I liked it, but I kept thinking about the whole season and how we talked before about sort of story arc of Loki and stuff. And I never thought watching this series that I would be, like you said, like all of a sudden Loki is like one of my favorite characters because I only knew him from the movies and you know how he was. So it was nice to kind of see that whole arc. But I'm just wondering, one, like I asked before, do we ever see him again? And two, what you guys were just talking about, have they actually written Kang out now?
Right.
Oh, I think that's confirmed. No,
But just the way they ended the series, it's like, you know what I mean?
they did, but Kang is, the variants are there now.
Right.
So the He Who Remains is gone, and that was the whole premise. Is if he does what he's going to do, make the ultimate sacrifice, then there's going to be all the Kang variants to deal with. And Kang thought, no, he's not going to do that because it's a huge risk. But then he did.
Well, and now the purpose of the TVA is just to track down Kang variants,
Right.
which also too they completely belittle the Kang the Conqueror that everyone thought it was.
Well, that's what I mean.
In Ant-Man. They're just
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, they ran into one in 616
Yeah.
or whatever it is, and they took care of it. It's
That's
not
what
a
I
big
mean.
deal.
The series didn't really end on some sort of cliffhanger, like, oh, you'll see Kang again.
Yeah.
Like they didn't. Like, so that's why I'm thinking they left it like that because of the whole situation with the actor and
Yeah,
how it's
probably.
been going, that they haven't made a decision.
Yeah,
on
true.
which way to go.
True.
Because would assume like any other MCU movie or series, there'd be some kind of like, after credit scene where you see Kang and it's like, he's going to return or something like that.
Was there was no
There wasn't.
after credit scene?
No.
Yeah. Which is
Did you guys wait for one?
Yeah, of course.
I went back and forth and tried to skip and find it and thought I missed it, and I thought there was maybe just
because most of them say like so and so will return
in
blah,
yeah.
whatever.
Well, we know he's gonna return. He's got a fucking movie named after him.
Yeah.
Well, they even started filming that though.
Have they? When is that supposed to come out? 2020?
2025. They're supposed to be the two Avengers movies supposed to be back to back.
Yeah.
That and then Secret Wars. But I don't know. I think they're gonna like not make any decisions right now. And that's why they kind of left it like that.
Sure. All right, Alvin. Time for you to just
Kang Dynasty loses its director 2 hours ago.
dump all over us.
2-ply on this one, bad boy.
All right, hold on. Kang Dynasty director backed out.
Has dropped out as Helmer of Marvel Studios' upcoming
That was
Avengers
this morning.
Dynasty.
Wow.
Thanks, Nathan, for taking away what I was going to say. But all right.
Sorry, I didn't know that's what you're talking.
But since you love Kang so much, I wasn't surprised.
You don't have Google alerts for him?
The whole season or just the episode? What do you want from me?
Do the episode.
Start with the episode, then go to the season.
Episode was a little bit of nauseating at the beginning. It's just like, I don't need to see this 1,000,000 times.
I was happy that they didn't, like, because they could have shown him repeating. They could have like padded this episode so much, but just like showing him do the same thing 15 times. But then they just showed like when he was repeating people's words that they're about to say, you got that. And they didn't have to do okay, now he does it. Oh, he screwed it up again. They didn't. I was expecting like they probably would have done a montage for like half of that had they not had the same amount of stuff going on.
Are you done, or do you want me to wait till? I don't know. I just thought this episode was. I thought the ending was a lot better than the beginning of it.
Right.
I did like the ending. Yeah, don't fall off your chairs. I thought the ending was a fitting conclusion to how it started for him, not from season 1, but from the time where he's like he belongs in the throne. It's his it's his right to be on a throne. So with that coming all the way in this huge arc that he's had, I mean, aside from Thor, I think he's been one of the longest mainstays from the beginning of it all. So to go to where he ended up at the ending, I thought it was fitting and beautiful. I don't think we've seen the last of him, but maybe that's a decision that Tom has to make. Because he's a very talented actor, and I think he can find a job like that.
Oh yeah, he's had some other.
I think he's better than Chris Evans.
Oh yeah,
maybe on par with Robert Downey Jr. Maybe on par.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, I actually think he's better than Robert. I mean, I don't know. Yeah,
yeah, it's tough to say.
More recently, Robert, like when Robert Downey Jr. was younger, he was great in tons of stuff. But recently, it's just sort of been Iron Man and. But anyways, I don't know. Tom Hiddleston's he's had some great roles.
For me, where this show kind of disappointed me was the lack of pacing. I really expected more time traveling in more different locations, not just back in the 1800s in Chicago. I was expecting, because I thought it was going to be a time chasing show where every episode they're going to be at some crazy part of the universe. Because the first season, we did get a bunch of jumping around and stuff like that. There was more mystery with the first one. And the payoff at the end was pretty crazy. It wasn't the greatest, but the season 1 had more mystery to it, more what the heck is going on here kind of thing. And the pacing was a little bit faster than I think the second one. But the ending of it all, I think, was probably fitting, in my opinion. Shocked anybody? No.
A little
A
bit.
little bit.
Nathan's about to cry.
No,
And your
I-
boy Kang was great. Don't worry.
I thought that you would have liked this episode more
More compared to what?
than previous episodes because you've disliked a lot of this season.
Because I gave my reasons, right? There's the pacing
Sure. Oh,
was
yeah.
the main reason of it all, and I don't like some of the characters in the show, and some of the characters I did like at the beginning became stale at the end. The only two people that I thought was constant and it was important was Morbius and Loki. I think the two of them.
You like Morbius?
Yeah.
You're the only person on Earth who does.
Why?
Morbius?
Mobius.
Mobius. Sorry, Mobius. Mobius was awesome. He was somewhere in the background there. Don't worry.
Go down the rabbit hole. Neon.
I thought the two of them, I thought were the pillar of the show.
Oh yeah. I mean,
think
there's
if-
your two main actors. That's a good sign.
Yes.
Yeah. it's
If
like
you
a buddy
remove the
cop
rest of the
movie.
cast, I think the show would have been just fine as well. You would have had a little bit of boredom, but I don't think there was enough from some of these characters to make the show better with them in it. Like, for example, who's the doctor? Was it I-5? What's her name? Highway 5?
Who?
The-
What?
The doctor in the show. She was a doctor in her original realm.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah, 15.
Hunter B-15 or
Yeah,
whatever.
she did
Yeah.
nothing for me in the show. Absolutely nothing for me.
She had one of the most gut-wrenching stares at the
Yeah,
screen. For
Cool. That's nice. You can remove her
Okay.
from the show, and she does nothing for me. I also thought, what's her name? The female Loki. Oh my god, what am I doing with names today?
Sylvie.
Sylvie.
Sylvie. I didn't like her not acting. I didn't like her the way that she was scripted. The actress, no problem with her. The script that they gave her, I thought was a step down, way down from last year. They just made her look like an angry, annoyed person the whole time. Not willing to work with the team half the time, pointing fingers half the time. And I just
from
found
the
that
beginning she wanted to kill. And
yeah,
destroy all
I
of
just
the
thought
TVA.
I just thought that look, put her in a cage, speak to her, talk to her. Like Loki was put in a cage when he first showed up at the TVA and was put into place. Like, hey, listen, I know you're the blah 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 this and that, but we're gonna do it this way, and you're here for a purpose. It should have been the same thing with her when she came over to TVA. Sit down, we're gonna explain what's happening. Don't point at anybody else. We have a plan and we're going to do it. If the plan goes off rails, don't point at people. Let's just get to work as a team. I just felt that it took a while for her to become a team player, and that whole process kind of annoyed me. The rest of the TVA, they were just background actors, so it didn't really matter. But and Kang was there at the very end. I kind of wish he was there a little bit. The whole what's the name? The one that from the 1800s,
Victor
Kang.
Timely.
Time.
Yeah.
That acting was horrible. And I'm not the only one alone on this. It is scattered all over the internet. His acting in that for that character was horrible. He could have done a way better job. I think he tried to overdo that actor, that character, and I think he should have brought it down a notch or two. I do like that character and the art that he had and the timeline they went to. That was pretty cool. And I like how at the end they tied it back where the book never dropped in that window, so they closed that loop. I like that part. That was important because had they not done that, I'd be like, wait, is that still happening? Because the book's still being dropped in his hand, in his window, right? So they tied up the knots pretty well. And what can I say about the ending? The ending was great. The golden throne that was getting built,
Yeah.
that was cool. Him grabbing the branches of all the lines, like physically grabbing them and pulling it all
Dragging
the
them.
way. So going to a throne where he wanted a throne, but he's not cursed on a throne, right? If it was a curse more than anything else, right? And it's a bittersweet ending for him, but that's the character, the Loki character.
Yep.
He's not supposed to have this beautiful ending.
Nope.
Right? And so a lot of people didn't like that, and I thought that's what it has to be. It had to be that way. I think we haven't seen the last, in my opinion. I think he might show up. There is talk about him and Thor reuniting again at some point.
There's definitely already a Thor. There's a Thor 5 for sure.
Yeah. But I think this might be a time where he shows up at the most pivotal moment in a time war fight with Kang, probably.
Yeah.
Right? I think this is when he shows up and says, no, I got the MCU's back. this time instead of being on the other side of the fence, right? I said so much, but I want to hear what you guys have to say.
Well, I actually think the one thing that happened in this season, which didn't happen, he also had another character, Mobius, who had a real story.
Not Morbius, Mobius, yeah.
I said
Correct.
Mobius. Had a real storyline, right? With well, he finally saw him on the jet ski, but still, with his.
So let me ask you: are you a little disappointed we didn't see him actually on a jet ski?
No, I actually like the way they did that.
Yeah.
In the shop, in the showroom, and he's a salesman.
No, but I mean, like the very ending, like where he goes back, to
Yeah,
his
why
house.
didn't they have that as the end
Yeah,
credits? Just
I
like
thought that would have been cool.
Owen
Right.
Wilson just like
Just ripping the tides, baby.
This is
Little
we can't
cigar on
afford
the
to
side.
get
Do you ever think you'll see him in something else?
Ooh.
Yeah. There is talk that he's going to show up in a movie.
I would like that.
There is talk that he's going to show up in a movie. I can't remember what the movie was now, but if it comes to me, I'll let you know.
Well, I think that's risky, to be honest. I like him a lot as a character, but I worry that Marvel can wreck things so quickly.
Yeah.
I think they should just leave it where it is. It's great. It's almost a cliffhanger. It's not something that you have to know. It's just like, does he stay?
Yeah.
Or does he go?
I mean,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
you
It's
get
half the other way.
you get closure
But here's the thing, like
for the
how
most part.
like Justin, you were saying that whether he's going to come back or not, Tom Hiddleston, on these guys, money talks, right?
Sure. Yeah.
If Marvel thinks there's a way to make money off this, then they're going to do it,
Mhm.
right? They're going to do it. I personally would like to just see it the way it is ended right now.
Yeah.
Get ahead while you can. Do not
Yeah.
ruin this beautiful ending. Just stop here and maybe have him cameo in something down the road, which is a bigger situation, like a movie situation, right? But I don't think I need to see Loki 3. I think this is a good ending right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, fully agree.
Yeah. Well, you're right, because it's also about like they're gonna look at the numbers, how many people were watching this, and if
Yeah.
it was a huge hit, then they'd be like, "Oh yeah, season 3, no problem, has to
Yeah.
come out."
But they
No.
did talk about scaling back. Like next year, they're going to scale back a lot, right?
There's only
There's
one movie coming out next
Yeah,
year.
there was shows that were supposed to come out. They're going to be
Mhm.
shelving a lot of the shows.
Deadpool's the only MCU movie next year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yay!
I mean, that's yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of just like back to the old days now,
Yeah.
where you get one banger and everyone loses their mind about it for
Yeah.
8 months or whatever.
Which it's not only it's good to have the one because everyone's going to go see it. It's also going to be huge Deadpool, right?
Oh yeah,
because of who's in it. and
huge
everything.
jacked man.
Huge jack.
Batman.
Damn, why didn't I think of that line?
Personally, I think 2 Marvel movies a year is good.
You get a
medium,
summer,
or one
and a-
Marvel.
yeah,
Yeah, you got it. Like a summer blockbuster
Yes.
hit,
And a winter
I didn't s-
blockbuster.
yeah.
and then something maybe a little lower.
No, then you
end.
sprinkle in 2 TV shows in the middle.
I know.
Sure,
I
yeah.
do one movie and one TV show, or two movies or 2 TV shows, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, you just feel overwhelmed, and then you get crap like the Marvels. And
Have you
No.
seen it?
do you think I want? I went to the theater, and I actually saw Five Nights at Freddy's
What'd you think?
Ooh.
instead.
Just like everyone else on the
Yeah,
face of the planet.
just like everyone else. That was pretty good, but
Yeah.
I'd say it's a horror movie for people that don't like horror movies.
Sure.
Alvin, did you watch it?
You did.
Yeah.
You went and
watched
saw it.
Day one.
What do you think?
I thought it was great for kids. It's an entry
Yeah.
point, like you said, an entry point into scary movies. Not even a horror movie, because I think horror movies are higher than scary
It's,
movies.
it's more a suspense thriller.
Yeah,
kinda.
it's an entry point level. That's it.
Mhm.
Yeah, it ain't gonna scare you.
The general consensus that I've heard about the Marvels is that it was expected to be way worse than it actually was.
Yeah. I actually saw some good people. There are some people that like it
Yeah.
that said it was fun.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen people that gave it 10 out of 10, and I said, hey, that's your opinion.
Some of
I'll
the
res-
I think some of the things that I think I've not seen it, but I've watched a million breakdowns of it or whatever, is that like people are either like there needs to be more, it needs to be longer, or it either needs to be more of this or less of this.
Right.
It's right in the middle, and it doesn't like it's either too many things happening and there's not enough time to explain and explore all of the things, or it needed to cut out a bunch of the stuff and just stick to like 2 characters or whatever.
yeah.
Because from what I heard and what I've seen, it's
Yeah.
like they were done well and they were slightly interesting, but I just wanted more, which isn't a bad thing.
There were a lot of complaints because of that the last trailer for Marvels came out had Thanos in it.
And
Right.
Robert Downey Jr. and Thor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's something like Thanos says something like,
Yeah.
my
They
work's
try to
not done.
tie that
Yeah.
in. I'm like,
Yeah.
what?
Which is really bad because then people that went and saw it said it's got nothing to do.
Yeah.
So it's like
Well, they
just
try to hit that spark that Thanos has.
Sure.
They try to hit on that because he speaks like an old English type of villain, right? He's not a modern day. He says things, but he means like an old way of saying things, like
Mhm.
you know. And they try to hit on because Thanos was such a buildup of a villain to finally show up. Like you remember when we see that the trailer for Avengers Infinity War Part 1, you see him finally show up right out of the portal, and everyone just losing their mind.
Yeah.
It was such a buildup to see him finally in action. They try to say that this is going to be on that level, that villain's going to be on the same level as Thanos. Come on. Half the people didn't even know the name of this
Mhm.
villain.
I still
I still don't.
It's Darpen. It's a gender swap.
Repentor.
Yeah, gender swap villain. They don't even explain how she gets the hammer that
They should have a villain called Gender Swap Villain.
it's called Kathleen Kennedy.
Yeah.
But they don't even explain how she got the hammer from the guy before who died and the hammer was destroyed. So they don't explain that from what I heard. I actually I was cleaning up my desk here and I found a free movie voucher.
Oh,
And I'm like, do I go use this on Marvels because I'm not paying for it? It was free for me. And I'm like, nah, I'm gonna use it on something else. They don't deserve the free voucher either.
we'll watch it on Barbie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. But what I've been hearing is people have been complaining that these people who are toxic has prevented other people from watching the movie. And then I heard, the writer's strike and the actor's strike stopped the movie from gaining traction. Oppenheimer and Barbie killed it, and they were on strike that time. So what's your excuse there?
Yeah.
And there were people who are toxic against Barbie, and that still did gangbuster money.
Well, again, like right when you were like, oh yeah, they had an embargo that lifts the day after release, and I'm like, oh, so it's a bad movie then? Okay, cool. They don't trust it.
Yeah.
They don't believe in their own
It did
project.
$47 million on opening weekend. It's the lowest MCU opening of all time. The Hulk that came out 20 years ago made more money on opening weekend than they did.
Jesus.
Now, if you're a huge fan and you love it and you think everybody else loves it, then why didn't you guys go watch the movie?
Well, here's the other thing, and it's the same thing we talked about tons of times in the MCU. It's like people are like, well, okay, I didn't watch Miss Marvel, I didn't watch WandaVision. Do I need to watch those before I go see this?
Yeah.
Or Secret Invasion?
Yeah, Secret Invasion, yeah.
Like,
And also a lot of people are like, this should have come out before Secret Invasion because Nick Fury's story beats do not make any sense. He's a completely different character now.
He's chasing cats.
Yeah.
In the
and
movie.
it's like,
That's how far Nick Fury's fallen down the pegs.
yeah.
He's
an old
chasing
cat lady.
cats rather than
old
controlling an
cat lady.
Avenger. He's an SPCA in space.
They need to put him down quickly.
What about the pasture?
Like, not the actor, love him, but
Yeah. Yeah.
Nick Fury, we're gonna
Nick
put him on a
Fury.
farm. He's gonna be able to run and chase rabbits and
Speaking of Nick
All the
Fury,
cats
I
he
just want
all the
to.
cats
Yeah.
he wants.
Speaking of Nick Fury, I want to say that he's on in a movie this summer that's going to come out that I'm going to see day one. One of my favorite animated characters, Garfield, is coming back. The trailer dropped yesterday, and
Does he play Garfield?
no, does
No,
he play Garfield?
Does he
Hold
play
on,
Odie?
hold on. Let me speak.
Hold on,
I'll tell
no.
you. I'll tell you,
play
kids.
John.
Hold on. Come on, kids.
I
settle
hate
down.
Mondays.
Quiet in the backseat. Quiet in the
Hey,
backseat.
Mondays, motherfucker.
On Monday,
motherfucking
the trailer
lasagna.
dropped. On Monday, the trailer dropped, and me and Dee actually discussed it on A&R Weekly. But it is it was the cutest trailer dropped ever. If you're an animal lover, you'll be all over this movie. It comes out in the summer, and Chris Pratt is playing Garfield.
Oh my god.
He
Is there any
sounds
voices
great.
He doesn't do.
Yeah, exactly.
The female ones.
Oh,
It's
eventually,
fully
yeah.
animated, so it's not CGI. It's fully animated.
Okay.
Samuel L. Jackson is Garfield's dad.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's one of those deadbeat dads that just pulls pranks on his son and doesn't care about his son.
You mean,
that
it's
much.
his cat? Okay, I see what you mean.
It's Samuel L. Jackson, basically, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it comes out in the summer, and I can't wait. I'll be there day one. It might be my favorite movie of the year. Who knows? Because I love animals. I love dogs and cats and birds and whatever.
Is it Garfield's
Not the ones that
origin
kill me.
story? Is that what it is?
Sorry?
Is it Garfield's origin story? Like how he meets?
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
Okay.
it is. But it's so cool.
I thought you said you hated origin stories.
Yeah, but this is a cute.
Yeah, but
big
there's
character.
kitties and there's a dog.
Yeah,
so-
come on, it's Odie in there.
No, I thought it looks adorable. I'm
Yeah.
kind of I'm tired
I'm
of
taking my
Chris
dog to
Pratt
see it.
voicing everything.
Yeah.
He's turning into Seth Rogen.
But here's
where
the
it's
cool
just
thing
like,
that
oh
I
God,
think
this
they're
guy's
doing.
voice
I
again.
hate Seth Rogen, especially when they made his voice that of like TransLink for a couple days.
Oh,
a week.
right.
Yeah,
Forgot about that.
yeah. I want
No,
to get
I-
on the train with his voice.
Like, I'm sure he's a nice guy. It's just he plays the same person in every movie, and I don't find that person even if there's
Okay.
only one movie.
Okay, hold on. Yeah, we did talk about Loki. We're just wrapping up the scores here, unfortunately. But I just want to say one more thing about Garfield. So now till I think in the next till the movie comes out or a month before the movie comes, they're gonna have a QR code in the trailer, and
You get a
can
free cat?
you can submit your animal,
Aw.
your dog or cat, doing something cute. You can submit that, and they'll put that in the movie. If
Oh,
it
yeah, I
comes
see
I'm
out.
that.
sending so many pictures of
Wait,
DL.
sorry, what do you mean?
Yeah,
they'll
you
put that
gotta
in the
do
movie?
it.
Yeah.
Do it. So dogs and cats are permitted. Anything else not.
I bet you they won't put it in the movie. They'll probably make like a short or something.
Yeah, something like that. But hey, it's
Or the
on a
end
movie,
credits
right?
scene,
It's going to be on a
1/10 of a
movie. Whether it
frame.
be end credits, whatever
Yeah.
it is. Right?
Yeah.
But I think that's pretty cool. That's a good way to promote it.
Do they animate your photo and put it in, or they
I
put an actual
don't know.
photo
I
in?
don't know. They just said send in your videos of your dog or
Mm.
cat doing something adorable or doing something. Send it in. Here's the QR code.
Mm.
And they'll randomly or what I don't know how they're going to do it, but they're going to pick some of them and put it into the movie. So
Mm.
yeah,
Okay.
that's a must see for me. My family, my whole family is into this, so they want to go see it. It'll be cool.
But yeah, we should wrap up our Loki
Yeah.
talk.
Sorry. Yeah. Go ahead. What is your scores?
Unless ARX had some stuff he wanted to say about it.
Hey, anybody
Um,
else? The chats can give their scores too. No
Yeah.
one's stopping them. Yeah.
I thought this, like I said, the episode was good, but I'm just thinking about the whole season. So I really liked the season. I really liked again.
Okay. So sorry to cut you off. Why don't we do the episode score and then we can do the season score right after?
Yeah.
Okay. Episode, I'll give it a 8. In season 9.
Nathan.
I'm gonna give the episode a rather high score, a 9.5. I watching it, I loved it. I really did love it. Alvin nearly choked there. I saw that.
Elvin hates everything.
The whole season, I'll give it a. It's gonna be a rather high score too. I'll give it an 8.5.
Man, what are you?
Oh no!
drinking
Do you know what?
after work?
I'm gonna go down to an 8 because there's one point that you made earlier. Not enough different locations.
Yeah.
I agree with that. So I'll bring that down to an 8. But I still love the whole thing. I think Marvel fans should watch it.
Mhm.
Sorry, I actually thought about that. Elvin's gone. When he said that, I thought that when I was watching Doctor Strange, I was hoping that they were going to go to so many different worlds and stuff like
Mhm.
that, where they just kind of skipped through like a bunch of worlds. So I was
Yeah.
disappointed then. Justin?
Yeah, I thought the episode was a beautiful send off, a
Mhm.
great conclusion, and so I'm gonna give the episode 9, and then I think the season I'm gonna give like a 9.5. I would say a 10. I might even say a 10 because I think this is my favorite Marvel TV show, and I don't know that there was any point during this season I was like, nah, I wish they didn't do that. It was just like, oh, this is fun, this is fun, this is fun. Okay, next episode. Okay, this is fun, this is fun, this is great.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna go 9.5,
Yeah.
so that Elvin doesn't have an aneurysm, even though maybe that's why he's no longer on Scream. But yeah, it's
Yeah, I
Eric's-
mean, considering I watched season 1 and it was fine, but this one was that much better.
Mhm.
Because of new characters and the whole relationship with Mobius, and I just like the way they put it all together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, do you guys see how ARX said? So just saying it regularly, I cried harder than Marley and me. But the way he capitalized it, it's I cried harder than Marley and me. It's a little out there.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right,
Elvin's
Alvin.
back.
Your
Yeah,
scores,
sorry.
Elvin.
For the episode, I'm going to give it an 8. For the overall season, I'm going to give it a 7.
That's his highest scores yet. For
Is ARX
I
crying
cried.
right
I
now?
cried so hard. I also cried about how cringy and annoying the show was too. So, Marley and me was 100 times better than Loki. I don't even know if you're even a dog lover. You have a dog in your picture, so I don't even understand that. I don't like feelings. You don't like dogs, and you have a picture of a dog there. Take that back right now.
Oh no, you.
Yeah. Sorry, ARX. You are totally wrong there. Marley and Me is way better movie than Loki TV show. All the dog lovers are gonna send you hate mail.
You're the only person who's comparing it, Elvin.
No, she just said I cried harder than Marley
Yeah.
and Me.
That doesn't.
And I'm
that's not
telling
a
her that
definition
Marley
of
and
the
Me is a better
quality that
movie
it was-
than Loki TV show. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. So, and how can I not have feelings if I like Marley and Me more? Yeah. Hello. Let's get it right here. Pretty
Right,
Snoop
any-
Oh,
Dogg
yeah,
is
sorry.
better than
I was
Marley
like,
and
okay, what's next? And I
No, just anything
Your
else.
turn.
all right, let me pull
Moving
up some
on
stuff.
to Rick and Morty.
American Burger.
All right, so
Me. Owen Wilson's in both.
Oh shit!
Whoa.
Oh!
It's the guy with the mustache.
They're in the same universe.
Oh.
Oh
so
my
Marley
God.
died in
Goes back
the
to
Marvel
Marley.
universe.
It goes
Great
back to
crossover.
Marley. Marley
Oh,
was in
no.
the back of that house.
Making me relive
Oh
this.
my god!
Yeah.
Bum, bum,
How you like those
bum.
feelings now, huh? See, Marley is better.
Literally,
way-
no one is
By
comparing
the way,
them.
ARX, I'm just having fun.
You're fighting with yourself.
Yeah.
I'm not
You're
fighting
like,
with myself.
this movie also made me feel things. It's better. No one's saying it's not. I think we
No,
can all
I
agree.
don't know what you're
Marley and
talking
Me
about.
is
Again,
better
Justin is
than
speaking on the
Loki.
job again. I don't know what he's talking about. Anyways, let's just ignore Justin now.
Oh boy.
What are we talking about next? Besides
Rick and
this
Morty.
wow
Rick and
factor that-
Morty.
this bomb that Cowabunga dude just dropped.
Yeah.
Well, moving on to Rick and Morty.
Mhm.
I struggle with the name of this episode so much. I have to say it slowly. Unmortrician. It's spelled so weirdly.
Is it a
So,
mortician? Mortician?
Pardon?
Is it mortician?
Mortician. It sounds kind of like that, but I don't know.
thought
I
it- I
struggled
thought
with the
it was
name. I couldn't
unmortician.
pronounce it for the longest time.
Unmertrican. Yeah, I don't know what that's a reference
Yeah,
to.
I didn't get the reference
What was
either.
the title for the Loki show?
Of great purpose or
Yeah.
Glorious Purpose?
It was
Glorious-
the glorious purpose. The thing
Yeah.
that
Okay.
old Loki said last season, and also because it's an Ouroboros loop, it was the name of the first episode of the first season.
It's true.
Yeah. I'm gonna start using that phrase in my life.
Glorious purpose.
All right, but going back to or going towards Rick and Morty, season 7, episode 5.
Yes.
It's a mid-season
Mm-hmm.
episode, and surprisingly, they don't wait till the end of the season to give us something really big. We've been waiting for some sort of confrontation between Rick and Rick Prime.
Yep.
I will say right now, anytime I refer to Rick, I'm referring to Rick C137.
Yeah.
But Rick and Rick Prime facing off. And when they first showed us Evil Morty, I was a little confused
Yeah.
because I don't know about you guys, but I watched this on Amazon Prime,
Yep.
and it started the episode mid-sentence.
Oh, really?
That's the first thing. Did you guys not get that?
No.
No.
So
I watched it at my friend's house.
So I do want to ask the first thing that happened for you guys, the first thing that showed up on Amazon was Morty on the ground. Did you guys get that?
No.
Where he comes out of the portal, isn't he?
Amazon cut that off for me.
Really?
Oh, yeah. And I pay for the Stars service, so
Yeah,
it's Amazon Prime that you pay for, plus an additional service so
Yeah.
you can watch Rick and Morty. So that cut off. But anyways, we get this backstory of evil Morty at the beginning, where we see how he came to where he is now,
Yeah.
and then also what happened after the last time we saw him, where he breaks out of all the different dimensions where Rick is the smartest being.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got his own place. We already knew he's incredibly smart, but now we see he's also like tech smart, like Rick. That's not something that we've really seen before.
Yeah.
We know that he's used tech before and that he is smart, but being able to basically be on par with Rick is something completely different. And he's disturbed by something that our Rick and Morty had been doing. They've been fracking the universe, trying to search for Prime Rick.
Yeah.
And evil Morty joins them, figures out the problem with how he's doing it. They manage to bring in a trap by accident, which is this black goo that brings them into this little box, which was a really cool effect.
The box, the lines that he had is just like, all right, you're all here, or it's just a really fat Rick. In that case, and then at the end when he kills them all, he's just like, all right, good job, best Rick, or good job, really fat Rick, losing all that weight.
It's good cardio there.
Yeah, it's great cardio.
But they get out, and Rick manages with evil Morty to find a way out of the trap, and using that liquid that they collect from the trap, they track down Prime Rick. And this was a shock to me.
Yeah, because it happened like halfway through the episode. It was just like, all right, by the way, here's Rick Prime, and it was like, whoa, okay.
I thought this was going to be about Rick Prime, but I thought that it was more of an evil Morty episode at first.
Yeah.
And then nope, here he is. And not only do we find him, but in the trap, we hear that there's a weapon called the Omega device,
right,
which is supposed to be the most powerful device or weapon in the whole multiverse. It can kill anyone and eliminate them from every single multiverse. As we see a bit later on. But the two Mortys, evil Morty and then Prime Morty, or Morty Prime, and then our Rick, go and finally find Rick Prime. And they have arguably the best action sequence in all of Rick and Morty so far on all the seasons. At least that's my opinion. I haven't read what other people have said about that specific scene yet, but that was the best.
It immediately drew me in, and it's the first, I would say, one, if not the only animated series that I've rewound and watched a fight scene again, because it's like, oh, it's cool.
It was great. But then it hits you with this thing that I didn't expect. I did not expect for our Rick to be defeated.
Yeah.
I thought that, no, if there's anyone that's going to get him, it's him. Our Rick has been built up as the Rick, that he's set up the citadel of Ricks. He's one of the only two Ricks, which we also learned this episode, one of only two Ricks that's actually invented interdimensional travel.
Yeah.
All the other Ricks were just given it.
Yeah.
So that just shows how intelligent he is. But he's defeated because
but before this, probably one of my favorite jokes when he's talking about the portals is then they do a Jetsons reference. That there's a bunch of different Jetsons that keep teleporting and killing the family, and then another one teleports and kills the family.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
What was this might, because I don't know a lot about the past.
Yeah.
Is there a Prince?
What do you mean?
Like the singer Prince. They go into a house and everyone's dressed as Prince, or the artist formerly known as Prince.
What scene are you thinking of?
When they're going through all the different houses, when they're killing people at the beginning of the montage here.
No,
isn't he one of the Ricks from the Citadel?
I don't remember that being a thing.
I just don't remember. I just want to know if that's something from the past or something. I'm like, why is there a whole family dressed like Prince?
It is from a past episode.
Okay.
Where evil Morty has, we don't know it's evil Morty that does this until the end of the episode, but evil Rick, the guy there, kidnaps a ton of Mortys, and he basically builds them as like a net around his base and inflicts pain on them, and that way the other Ricks can't find him.
There was an episode where he was named the scientist formerly known as Rick.
Yeah,
that was it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nathan, did you like the Easter egg of Indiana Jones?
That was funny, especially because he just like whipped people and blood would just go everywhere.
You killed my wife.
Although it got to the stage where I was like, oh wow, it's gonna be Indiana Jones Rick or Indiana Rick versus our Rick, and no, he just
got annihilated.
Just dies.
Doesn't regular Morty shoot him?
No, he's defeated by the
last of Morty.
by
sorry,
the last
Rick.
Yeah, the last Rick.
Yeah.
Oh right, yeah.
You see the window getting splattered by his whip, and you think that's the end, and then all of a sudden he just opens up the blood and then just gets destroyed there.
But all the other Ricks in that fight, there's one that's sort of like James Bondish, right? And there's a guy that's sort of referenced to like John McClane with the white.
Oh, I just thought that was supposed to be Redneck Rick or something. He's got a gun taped to his back, and but yeah, the episode ends with both Ricks going down. The Rick Prime actually turning out to have regenerative abilities in his tech.
Yeah.
And then he's defeated by evil Morty. Out of all people, evil Morty defeats him. He doesn't even care about it. This massive event that we've been waiting for forever. And evil Morty doesn't care. He's just there to get the schematics for the Omega device.
You're gonna OGs me to death?
Yeah. Then he leaves, and then we get this really emotional and probably the most violent scene in all of Rick and Morty. There's a lot of mosts in this episode, because the most violent scene.
Well, the emotion comes because Prime was responsible for his wife's passing, right? So that's why this Rick in this universe is so emotional.
So I have to ask you guys that have specifically, I guess, Elvin and Justin, because you've watched Rick and Morty before. How do you feel knowing that it wasn't just his Diane that was killed, his wife, that
It was in every
that Rick
dimension.
Prime killed all of them?
Yeah. I mean,
What do you think?
Yeah, go ahead, Justin. You're saying
that's just I mean, it makes him the ultimate villain, because I mean, that's just kind of writing 101, is when you want the audience to hate someone, you make them kill or destroy something of your main, I guess, hero. Rick's a hero, I guess, now. But you have him destroy something, and then it's just like, oh, okay, now everyone hates you. So then just having that extra little additive on there, as opposed to just like, oh, this is just Rick Prime, oh wow, this is cool. It's like, oh, he killed every Rick's wife, and it's like, oh, okay, he's a bad guy, I hate him now. And yeah, it was brutal, and there were so many brutal parts in this episode. It's ridiculous. Yeah.
Elvin?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think this is the end. I think Prime's probably made a replica of himself, because that's how the show is about, right? It's never ends. There's always somebody out there. Yeah, somehow he returns. And Evil Morty is so cool. So cool. I absolutely love that character, because you got the Morty is supposed to be the weak link of the two, right? He's always supposed to be the one that causes the problems rather than solve them. But in this case, this guy is like above Rick in so many levels, and I don't give a what kind of attitude level as well. So yeah, it's cool to see that. I hope that he comes back again into the storyline. I think the movie that they're making is going to have more to do with that. Sure. And I think Prime Rick might show up in the movie as well. So,
well, where do you think this episode? Where do you think the next episode's going to go? Like, because this was arguably could have been a season finale.
Interdimensional cable.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Especially after last week of people eating themselves, right? I was like, what are they going to do? Because I still don't know the show that well, but I was like, this one I was just like, what? And I was just like, when I started to watch this episode, I'm like, okay, so we watched people eat spaghetti out of
Yeah.
people's bodies. So what's going to happen this time? So I was a little bit, because I had no idea there was an evil Rick or an evil Morty, and so I was just confused by this one. But it's still a good show. But yeah, I didn't know what was going on. But I'm old, so you kids in your shows,
Goddamn cartoons.
What do we give it?
I'll let you guys go first.
I'm gonna go with. I think I liked the last episode more, but I know
What?
I genuinely thought it was beautiful.
Oh,
most-
yeah, it was
most
beautiful,
like,
but-
like the end. I don't. just
Yeah,
the
the
whole
ending, we
argument.
already talked about how good it was, but come on. This is Prime
But I
Rick.
know how important this
Whoa.
is, and it's such a
I don't know. We could be
big
friends.
deal.
Oh my
I just
God.
laughed more at the last one and was more like affected. This one was just balls to the wall crazy because it's Rick Prime, and this is a canonically important episode. So I'm gonna give it like an 8.
Is it better than Marley and Me?
That's really the question. Yeah, that's the
That's
matters
the
most.
benchmark now. That's the benchmark.
Marley and Me, yeah.
we should have a whole show just on Marley and Me.
Oh, you're gonna see me cry.
In the
every time.
multiverse.
Marley and Me, the multiverse.
Owen Wilson's
Joel,
multiverse.
the Marleyverse.
The Marleyverse, yeah. It's sort of
Um,
how I'm gauging Rick and Morty right now, is how many times do I laugh out
Yeah.
loud?
Oh yeah.
And I didn't laugh out loud at this one.
Oh my God, you're hurting me. Chris. Oh.
I know.
You got to watch season 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Those
No,
are
but
really good.
I,
I mean,
you
one
know,
and two, he's gonna watch 5.
Well, this
6
was
seasons.
a season 1 continuation. Like
Yeah.
this is is closing things that started in season 1.
Well, yeah, I just mean
But-
like the humor in season
but
1
I-
and 2.
yeah.
Yeah. No,
See, I thought
absolutely.
the first episode of season 7, I was laughing. I
Yeah.
really laughed my ass off, like out loud. My wife's like, "What are you watching?" I'm like, "You don't want to know." So yeah, that's sort of how I'm gauging. I mean, it's still, I don't know. I'd probably only give this like a 6, this one, because I just didn't know what was going on. I was just waiting. I did like the Jetsons stuff. I thought that was funny.
Oh yeah, we got to mention that. That was awesome.
Yeah.
I was doing the DiCaprio like that, and my son's like, "What are you
Yeah.
pointing at?" Because my son has no idea what a Jetson is, right? He's
Right.
like, What's a jet, son?" Right? I'm like, "No, what do you mean? What's a Jetson? What? Get out of here! You're not my kid anymore."
You know how many times a day I say that?
So you gave it a 6. Justin,
Yep.
you gave it an 8.
8.
Nathan, you want to go or should I go?
You go first.
Okay. I'm gonna give it a 9.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. Oh, also again, no wows.
oh, we need the button still,
They're,
huh? Oh, no, none on the show.
yeah. Owen
Wow.
Wilson never said wow in 2 goddamn seasons.
Wow.
It's a travesty.
You do it the best.
I thought this was the best of the 3 shows I watched this weekend.
Really?
Yeah. Because it did everything I wanted it finally to do. Right? I'm like, when is Prime Rick coming? They kept teasing, right?
Yeah.
So I
And this is
thought-
only halfway through the season too.
Yeah,
Like this is
yeah.
midpoint, and they're like, by the way, here's the main story part.
But it's great when a series does that, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
don't leave us to the end to bring out
Yeah,
the good episodes. It
Yeah.
means they've got a lot
Okay.
of good episodes.
Sorry, Nathan,
Right.
did you give your score? I didn't catch it.
No, not yet. I'm giving this episode a 5.5. I
Why
did
is
not
this
like
broken
it.
now?
What?
Yeah, I know. There's many
Are you
reasons why I
doing this
didn't
just to
like it.
get back at me because Doom is better than Kang?
No. I'm not trying to.
How do you give this
genuinely-
show 5.5? I don't get it. That doesn't make any sense.
I felt like when I say mess up, I admit that's a bit more exaggerating it, but I felt like they just messed up. I feel like this episode should have been at the end of the season. Sure, there may be other things that happen later on that are bigger than this, but considering that generally the format Rick and Morty has done is they have one big event every 2 seasons, not even every season. Every 2 seasons, they have one big canon event that's the overall story.
And then they just have jokes for the rest.
Yeah,
kind of
and
thing,
the rest of it's just Rick and Morty adventures, classic Rick and Morty adventures. But I felt like they're just pushing it too much now.
Or or is it going to just be a bigger thing that happens near the end? Or are they just like, let's just get this out of the way so we can just do the funny jokes for the rest of the season?
Imagine if they do.
That's their best jokes, like
Well,
best funny stuff for the rest of the season. No, like, no, who cares about the story?
well, there's that.
Yeah.
But also it's just I had other issues like making all the Dianes being killed.
Right.
I had took issue with that because I thought, well, part of what makes our Rick special is that at least the way it appeared to me up until this point
Mhm.
was that he was the one that was selected by Rick Prime because he was the closest in intelligence, but
To survive,
he
yeah.
rejected it.
Yeah.
And so his wife was the only one that was directly murdered by Rick Prime. And so
Right.
that's why he has this vengeance against him. And having him come up close, but the only way he came up close was with Evil Morty.
Mhm.
And then even then he lost the fight and Evil Morty had to finish it off.
Yeah.
The whole fight sequence. I felt like it pulled our Rick down. Our Rick, who was supposed to be the best Rick out of all of them, and the only reason why he couldn't get Rick Prime is because Rick Prime was slippery. He spent his whole life trying to escape.
I still can't believe we're having this in depth of a conversation about the character dynamics in Rick and Morty. Like, just it is. Yeah.
How do you know? How do you know? That's
When is
not
that
what they
poop
want.
guy coming back? I want to see that poopy pants. What his name is? come
Wasn't
back.
his name the Time Guy? Time
Poopy butthole.
Morbius?
Mm.
We saw
Yeah, we saw time slow time
slow-mo,
slow.
or
Yeah.
we haven't seen him for seasons.
Yeah.
He's really early season.
Oh, and then we get another small slow montage just to music, like Sarah McLachlan or whatever the hell, of her life trying to find her husband. And then
I remember.
I think it was season 1 that we saw him
Yeah.
last. He was at season 1.
Yeah.
Rick holds a party for no reason other than like just Morty's parents are out. So he holds this massive party. They get high off of alien drugs, and then like they have a bunch of crazy people that show up at the party. And one of them is this time guy that slows down time. And having him I admit that was pretty good. Having him come back, and he's considering him family and having him killed, and
yeah.
immediately he's full on rage, like, no, you've killed him. He's so close to me. And we've seen him once in 7 years ago. Or no, like what,
That's
10
hilarious.
years ago?
I'm trying to find what season he was first, or where was
Going back to what you said, Nathan.
Hold on, here the Rick and Morty wiki, it now says status deceased.
Now, going back to what you said, I think
Season
that
1.
you're underestimating the writing capabilities of this show. I think they're going to hit you with something really cool, I believe, at the end of this season. And this is
I hope
just setting
so.
you up for it. I think everyone's just like, okay, Prime Rick is dead. We can put our guard down. The other Rick disappointed us, didn't step to the plate. I think there's more to it here than this. This is just like to me, it seems like a setup.
I do hope so, but I feel like they're trying to bring down our Rick as being almost this god of everything, which he was in the earlier seasons. But he might have a bit of trouble here and there with people, but ultimately he was beyond everyone and everything. And now they brought him down just a couple notches, so he's no longer this nearly divine being. Where he like fights Zeus and Jesus and like beats them because that happened. They brought him down now, and they're trying to humanize him more, which I get. They've done that over the past seasons where something's upset him. He's tried to kill himself, but he like broke down crying and missed his head. Spoilers. But they brought.
As long as it makes me laugh.
Yeah.
What if by the end of the season he just says, "This is not who I want to be," and just flips the switch
And kills
Wouldn't that-
himself?
No, flip the switch, not turn
I know
off
that's
the-
what I'm thinking. Wait, what do you mean?
What I'm
What
saying
switch
is,
are you talking about? The death switch?
yeah. What I'm saying is, like, you know how you're saying they're bringing him down to be human more. What if at the end, by the end of the season, he goes, "That's not what I want to be." Like, breaks the wall and says, "I know the writers are trying to do. They're trying to make me more human. That's not who I am. I'm, I'm Rick. I'm God. I'm, blah blah blah, the Messiah, whatever you want to say." I think that could be a possibility. I don't know. Like, I disagree with you about the overall what's happening right now in the show. I think this it's never been better. I think this show has really put you at this point. You're like, well, okay, Prime Rick's dead. Now what? we never said that before, right? We were never said, okay, now what? The main problem for Rick is gone, or is it? Like, we don't know what's going to happen, and I'm more excited about next week's episode. It might be a filler, who knows? But I'm excited to where the next step is and what happens to Evil Morty as well. With the movie coming out,
When does this movie come out? When does this
we
movie
don't
come out?
know. They
Oh,
haven't
okay.
announced anything yet.
Oh, okay.
It's in the works right now. But with
Right.
the movie coming out, what are they going to do? They have to do something good, right? You can't make an average show.
Mhm.
This is going to be in the theaters. Animation's going to be upped, and the storyline has to be second to none. Right?
Take notes, Disney.
Yeah. And they're taking their time to do it. They said that when they're ready to announce it, they will, when the opening day will be. But for now, they're still working at it. Yeah, I'm just shocked at 5.5, man. I really am with your score.
I just had too many issues. I
Okay,
did at
fair
the
enough.
end sit back and think like, wow, this big event is done.
Wow.
That did get me, but that's what the 5.5's for. The rest of it I wasn't a fan of.
Oof, okay.
Wow.
The action scene was good too. And there's like
That
couple
alone
things
is like
in
a
there.
6 right there, just by itself.
Here's a question for you.
Yeah.
If later in the season, what happens, like what Elvin is saying, like, would you actually go back and say, "Oh my God, I'm gonna change"?
He's
because
stubborn. He won't.
You know what? Honestly, I think it would be difficult. That's why I'm giving it a 5.5.
Right.
Usually my scores have some influence over what I think the next episode will be like.
Yeah.
Right.
If it is a redemptive or it's going to answer something.
Mm.
But
Yep.
in this, at this moment, I don't feel like that's the direction they're going.
We've
Right.
done that with a few shows. It's like, I'm gonna give this a low score because like tomorrow or next week I might give it a 9 because with the way this is going, I feel like it's going to do this, and if it does this, I'm gonna hate it. And then it goes, no, actually they did a good thing. Okay.
Well, that was our
good.
whole when we watched Silo, right?
Yeah,
Silo
actually,
was exactly that.
yeah.
We were
Yeah.
like, oh, but then it's
Yeah,
If
but
it doesn't
we
do this at the end, I'm gonna hate this
We were
series.
just like, if it
If it doesn't
doesn't
do-
show us this or whatever,
And
then
we
the
did
end was
the-
just like, here's everything you want.
without the actual money.
Yeah,
And we did the
Yeah.
opposite for Willow. It went from up to
I was just going to try and bring Willow in.
we brought it back again.
we got him again.
Well, Silence started high as well, then went down, then
Yeah.
went up.
Yeah,
Yes.
So
It was a
like-
roller
right.
coaster.
It was like
Well,
yeah, in the middle it
roller
was
coaster.
down, and then the end. Yeah.
But Willow just went in this deep dive.
No, Willow just
It
started at
up the hell.
flat line. It just never gave me a pulse.
I'd say watch the first 2 episodes of Willow and then the last just so you
No,
get a
just
conclusion.
no.
you can't
you
watch
can't.
anything.
Well, I know. But
It's
like,
not possible.
It's
I
the-
can't even pirate it. I've tried to pirate
really?
it. You cannot.
He
I
doesn't
was
mean
gonna
that,
make
folks.
for Christmas
He's
a
just joking.
DVD of Willow, the TV show, and then I was going to get absolutely annihilated drunk and do a director's commentary over top of it and make shitty copies. I cannot f***ing find it anywhere on the internet. It
Okay.
does not exist.
Find the script, act it out, film it,
I would
And
rather
then
slam
do-
my dick in a car
and
door
then
than read the script
No,
of Willow.
but then do a commentary of your of your acting.
Yeah, I tried
I
for
might die puking.
so long, like multiple hours
Oh man,
trying to find a pirate
amazing.
to download it, to stream it. Nothing exists.
Internet. Somebody find it for us.
someone in the comments, yeah.
Somebody
Oh,
who's
you
got a
do that?
grandma
Oh,
who
pirating.
TVRs everything is
Yes.
gonna have it. It's gonna be like, oh, my grandma had this guitar under her bed for 85 years and it was played by
Elvis's.
Jimmy Page.
Yeah,
Somebody's gonna do that. Like, oh,
you're right. Someone has probably PVR'd Willow, and they
Yeah.
have it right now.
Don't worry though, guys. Willow
PVR'd.
on the Shop Disney store, Willow's got a limited edition pin.
Oh,
It's the last item they have from Willow because everything's been removed.
And that will make them more money than the actual goddamn show did.
They never learn, Disney, though. They still don't learn. They don't learn. Just keep churning out trash.
Disney is the first company in the world when they are like, we're going to delete this. It actually is gone off the internet. No other company can
Delete
delete
from
something off the
existence.
internet. That's not possible. Disney did it.
Disney's going to be able to erase our minds.
Oh God, this was a test for their mind wiping technology.
Willow, what is Willow? I am watching Disney now. Next on
Oh.
Disney. That's what I'll say.
Oh.
Oh man, we covered a lot this afternoon.
You did.
Uh,
You did.
things. For
Say
TV
bye bye Loki.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where do you rank them from 1 to 3? The shows
What shows?
this week. What do you rank
Oh.
them as?
Are you talking about the whole show or just the episode?
No. I'm just
No,
saying
he's talking
of the
about
three
the
shows. Of the 3 shows you watched this weekend,
He's
right?
talking Loki, Rick and Morty, and Invincible. Those ones.
Which did you
What
have
we
more
talked about tonight.
fun with? 1, 2, and 3.
Well, I have to go with Loki 1,
Mhm.
Okay.
Agreed.
Rick and Morty 2, and then Invincible 3.
Agreed. Same.
Close.
Ooh.
Loki first. Completely agree with that. Invincible second.
All right. You hated this episode.
Yeah, I didn't
Well,
like
didn't-
this
didn't
episode
like
of Rick
this
and Morty.
episode.
No, but
Right.
I think last week's episode of Rick and Morty beats.
Yeah. Last week
Invincible's.
was a roller coaster. Like it made me feel things. It made me laugh. It made me want to vomit. Like that's a good time.
I tried to
Did we
watch
give our
it.
score-
Yeah.
Did we give our scores for this?
Yeah.
Okay. I can't even
I
remember.
tried to watch last week's Rick and Morty episode with my girlfriend, and she's like, "No, I can't. It's too gross."
Just make spaghetti. Here's a look. I made you
You
dinner.
should have made
honey, and-
spaghetti and then
Wow,
watch
you
it.
never
Oh,
make
that's
me
actually a good
dinner.
idea.
What'd you do
You
this
never
for?
make spaghetti.
Don't show her where you made it.
How come there's nothing in the kitchen? Where'd you get this from?
The garage. I would rank Rick and Morty 1, Invincible 2, and then Loki 3.
Sure.
That's my scores. It was a good weekend though.
Yeah.
Or week. We're gonna get the next Disney show, the Disney Minus show. It's gonna be What If.
Those are fun.
It is December 22nd.
Yep.
And they're gonna release an episode every day after that.
Mhm. Oh,
Throughout
so it's
the
like
holiday.
an advent calendar. kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Throughout the holiday. So you're gonna have, I think there is 6 episodes, I want to say.
That'll be fun.
So
Something to watch on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so that's the next TV show from Disney Minus.
Hmm.
After that, nobody knows what's happening. 2024.
Yeah, because Acolyte got pushed back.
Oh God, I
We
wish
have
they
to
just
find some
come
other
back.
shows to watch.
Yeah, we're gonna have to talk to people or something. I don't
Go to
know.
Apple TV. They had some good stuff.
That's true.
Yeah,
we
well, I was
could-
gonna say next week is actually it's tomorrow is the Godzilla thing. Are we gonna talk about that?
Is it
Yeah,
coming
probably.
out tomorrow? Or is it already out for Apple TV? Because Apple
think
TV does it the day
it's-
before.
I thought
What's
it
the
dropped-
official release date?
Let's look. It's called Monarch.
I'm looking forward to it. I think it might be a good.
Well, it's on Apple, so
Yeah.
I forget. Do you have any Godzilla figures? You do, right?
No, I don't collect Godzilla figures,
Oh, really? Okay.
this-
but
son
it's
does.
very, very lucrative collection if you do collect it.
what's the date? It's
Godzilla?
November 17th. So that's this weekend, isn't it?
Saturday.
So
That's
tomorrow
right.
it'll come out on
Or
Apple. Then tomorrow afternoon.
Friday.
Friday.
Well, it says Friday there officially, but Apple really releases the day before around 8 p.m. our time.
Because time is a figment of Apple's imagination.
I think they go based off Europe timeline
Maybe
because all their money's stored in Ireland.
they're
anyways.
just they're going off of New Zealand time.
That's not Europe. I just want to.
I know, but it's yesterday.
Not?
It's yesterday.
What? It's
Since
yesterday.
when?
Isn't it tomorrow?
They've got the queen on the
Yeah.
money. They're a monarchy. Who cares?
That's funny. I was at the
No.
I was at the parade, and then the person's like, "God save the queen," and she's like, "Wait, no, I mean God save the king." They changed the
Yeah.
So there's 10 episodes of Monarch as well.
Really?
Are we gonna sink our teeth into that?
Well, let's give it a try.
We might.
Yeah.
I mean, again, Apple's got tons of hits. Right?
Yeah, that's honestly that's
Oh.
the biggest reason why I'm actually interested. Like, I
Yeah.
don't think I've ever really cared about a kaiju movie,
No.
but the fact that it's on Apple TV, I'm just like, you know what? Their track record's good.
Yeah.
I say we give it a
Cast-
shot.
Unfortunately, I can't say that about season 3 of For All Mankind. It is dropped off a asteroid cliff.
Mm.
Yeah, it's not good. First episode was so dull and boring. It's like I've seen this act before.
Cool.
Thanks.
So I'm gonna watch it, and I'm probably gonna love it then.
Yeah, probably. I mean, you like trash, so might as well.
Yeah.
So, Elvin, tell us what
One
you
man's
don't
trash,
like.
another man's
What's
treasure.
your least favorite show ever?
What don't you like? Because I'm gonna start watching it.
I like 2 shows from today. I
That's
gave
true.
them
And I
9.
didn't like.
Come on, I can't like everything.
I know.
All right. So, is there anything else we want to add before we sign off for the night?
No,
Okay.
I think we're
So-
good.
Whose turn is it next week?
I think it's mine.
yes
Sweet.
for the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh. All right. So we
Dr.
got our
Justin
80s
for the
stuff,
80s.
and then we're gonna start this weekend compiling our top 3. We're gonna talk
Yes.
internally, and we'll maybe
Andor.
No. Okay. We will discuss internally, and then we'll maybe give a little bit of hint next week of some
Sure.
of the. Okay,
Might
we'll
do.
figure it out.
Next
And
week
then-
we're gonna come back. We are in complete disagreement.
Justin hasn't shown up today.
Two of them have left the company. And discussed-
We'll see next week if there's a round 3 of Doom versus Kang.
It's infinite, right? It's
Yeah.
always going to show up. So,
Mhm.
just like this show, if you liked what you are hearing from us or not, you can give us a thumbs up or thumbs down. Subscribe if you love to see more content from us. We're doing shows throughout the week. We do a Monday show, a Wednesday show, and bi-weekly Saturday shows. Go check us out on social media at ANR Universe. Say bye, everybody.
Bye,
Bye,
everybody.
everybody.
I
Bye,
love Marley.